WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Yeah, this is artwork right here. Priceless artwork. You know it's morning time, and Yoko's screaming from the other room. Yeah, you love it, don't you, Davey?
No, I don't.
I know you do, man. I know you do. Good morning. It is Friday. Friday morning. We have comedians in studio. We have, listen, there's no delay. Somebody could have called in, Davey. Someone could have called and said something terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right, man.
Things are kind of busy here this morning.
We dodged a bullet. We dodged a bullet.
You can fire me.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. The amount of money we'll save on your salary, man.
I'm on the next train to New York City.
Yep, we're heading to Tahiti. Yeah, you're going. That's it. He's producing for Jimmy. He's done. He's done. All right. By the way, go ahead.
I apologize. The Utica women play tomorrow. I don't know why I'm having problems knowing what day it is this week, but I've struggled all week. The Utica women also play on Saturday.
Well,
the men play on Saturday.
Of all days to know what day it is, usually today's a good one.
Right. And to be honest with you, it was Bang the Drum started, and I said, wait a minute. Today's Friday, isn't it?
It's Friday. Payday, as a matter of fact. Just kidding.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Okay, so the men play at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. The women play at 3 p.m. in the Nexus Center. And one would say, well, why aren't they playing at the Adirondack Bank Center? Because that could happen, right? It would have happened prior to the Nexus Center. But Nexus is their home now.
Yes,
that's their home ice.
Yep.
And their home locker rooms and everything. It's imagine what it's like for these teams to come in to I mean, their facilities are, and they don't get people, and et cetera, et cetera. And you can go right to the Adirondack Bank Center and pick up tickets, or you can buy them online. Get your tickets for tomorrow night. Watch the women, watch the men. It's going to be a big night. Now, what happens if Utica's women win? So, if I'm correct, I'm going to try to do this off the top of my head. The number one seed in the tournament, the UCHC, for the women's division, 3, is Nazareth. So if Nazareth wins and Utica wins, Utica will have to travel to Nazareth to play in the championship game. If Utica wins and Chatham upsets number one seed Nazareth, Chatham would come to Utica next weekend. So that's the deal on the women. Obviously, any team that loses, you're out. On the men's side, this is the semifinal round. Utica is the number one seed, so they just have to keep winning. As long as they keep winning, it keeps coming back, and they'll play most likely at 7 p.m. next Saturday night if they win this weekend. Most likely 7 p.m. on Saturday, as the Comets are playing at home Friday night and Sunday afternoon. So there's room in there for a championship UCHC game for the Pioneers. And there you have it. After that, and if Utica can win out, and Utica wins the UCHC, there is a very good chance that, and they continue to win in the NCAA tournament. Sorry.
NCAA.
NCAA tournament. Well, that's a weird one. Then the actual Frozen Four would most likely be played in Utica.
That's awesome.
So all of that really, really cool possibilities. But, of course, here's the thing. You got to win. You got to win. You got to win. You got to win. Okay, a lot of talk about the Bob Cardillo interview yesterday. And, listen, it's this whole thing about and we had asked Bob a while back. And if you remember, we'd asked also all of the candidates who came in the question, if you lose the primary, will you stay on the ballot? Will you stay in the race? And everybody has said that they would support the other Democrat or the other Republican. But Bob said, I can't answer that yet because I'm still waiting on the conservative line. So yesterday we learned that Cardillo gets the conservative line, and also Celeste Friend got the working families line.
Right.
So, but we asked Celeste a while back what she would do if she loses the Democratic primary. She said, I will get out of the race, and I would support whoever the Democrat is. So if she loses, that would most likely, well, at this point, we don't expect anybody else to get in the race. It would be DeBrango.
Can I just stop for 1 second?
Yeah.
I got a message yesterday. Again, I've been saying I think there's going to be a fifth. Somebody suggested to me, a sitting Utica official said, hold on, there might be a fifth. Hold on. Now, they didn't say who that was, but at this point, I just want you, we don't think there will be more, but some people are suggesting there will be a fifth.
I've heard people not loving the lineup.
Yeah.
Who would that fifth be? I have no idea.
I don't know.
I mean,
others have.
It's funny because you keep hearing Palmieri say, well, you never know. You never know. But obviously, he will officially have termed out. There's no way he could run as of right now. So I don't know. What does it all mean? What's going to happen? I don't know. God, could you imagine if somebody got in late? It is possible. They'd have to get in by next week because next week they start hitting the streets and collecting signatures. So, all right. Well, anyway, as of right now, there are 4 candidates in. And I'm just saying that Celeste said that she would get out of the race, but Cardillo has said he didn't know. Yesterday, he told us he's almost certain he is going to stay in the race no matter what happens in the primary. Now, when I say almost certain, let's put that completely into context. I said, he said, yeah, most likely I will stay in the race. But I said, so 100%. He said, well, I can't say 100%. But it's close. It's close. So I would say almost certainly he will stay in the race. That's a fair way to describe that. So there you have it. That's the Utica race. We continue to ask for the Mayor Jackie Izzo. She'll be in next week. The mayor has a challenge on the Republican side. There is right now no Democratic challenger in the city of Rome, but on the Republican side, she has a challenger. And Jeff, talk about that and your efforts. We've not spoken to him as of yet.
No, we have not. I have reached out twice. There is a page, Lanigan for Mayor. And I have 2 messages that have gone red, but nobody replied. So I don't know if he handles his Facebook page or if he has like a team, who helps with social media, etc. And so I've reached out twice. Good morning, Mr. Lanigan. Jeff from the Keeler Show. I also introduced myself on the second one. Just following up, would you join us on the Keeler Show?
So he is he's a former police officer and is no longer, I believe, retired.
Retired detective, I believe.
He has a little interesting situation because technically he lives out of the city. So while it might be 300, 400, 500 feet, he doesn't live within the confines of the city of Rome. Which, by the way, is, I think, the second largest by mass, second largest city in New York State. So there's a lot of ground if you're gonna live outside. But he's just outside the city lines. He says that he will move into the city if he wins the race. Now we can also tell you that Jackie Izzo. It's a little bit of a different situation in Rome. Jackie Izzo, the incumbent, has been endorsed by the Republican Party and just recently endorsed by the Conservative Party. So you won't have a situation there. And it's harder to be on a third-party line. The governor really just basically got rid of the Independence Party. So it's tough to pick up one of those third-party lines. But anyway, that makes the primary very important for the city of Rome, and that's where we currently stand a week before they all get out and start carrying petitions. That's going on. What else do I have here this morning? We'll get to Willie Waffle later on in the hour, talk about There are some movies. That crazy movie, Cocaine Bear, is out this weekend. Davey, you're all about it.
I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah, you got to let us know how it is. Willie will tell us if it's. I've heard it is just crazy, and it's based on a true story, loosely, right? The bear actually it really happened. Cocaine was dropped from the air by a drug cartel, and the bear got into the packages and consumed the cocaine. The bear immediately died. That's where it's no longer an accurate movie.
Right.
Everything right up to that point. So really none of what you're going to see in the movie actually really happened. In Schenectady, interesting story. You go out fishing. And, I think fishing right now is free. You can fish for free without a license right now. There's some grace period going on in New York. But a person fishing in the Erie Canal in the Mohawk River discovered a body on Wednesday afternoon in Schenectady, according to the Albany Times-Union. Police recovered the body as it was spotted around 2:30. They declined to identify the victim recovered from the river on Wednesday. We'll wait to see what happens there. That area, however, had been searched by Land and Water multiple times since November, when a 14-year-old went missing, according to the Times-Union.
Now, the latest that I have today is that autopsy results on the body that was found will not be available until Monday afternoon at the earliest. So we might know more about this story in a couple of days.
Police right now are looking for a rental scam person.
Yeah.
You know what the rental scams are? But this oftentimes happens in places like Florida. You plan your whole vacation. You get you rent a beautiful house that's right by the water, and you travel all the way down there, and you follow your GPS, and the address takes you right to the place where there's no house or somebody else's house, and you've been scammed.
Yeah.
You paid your $1,800 for a few days or whatever you paid, and all that money is gone. It's the same type of thing going on here in Utica. Police are looking for a man suspected of a rental scam. The suspect allegedly advertised a fake rental property on Craigslist and fraudulently took money toward a deposit. Police posted a video of the man on Facebook Thursday in an effort to help identify him.
Yes, and you can see still images from that video on our website. It's a guy wearing a red baseball cap. He appears to be walking on Genesee Street, and I'm wondering if they've identified this person as a suspect because whoever was taken for a ride here, if you will, met the person maybe on Genesee Street and provided them a money or some type of a check in order to secure that either fictitious or not owned property for rent.
So these security pictures are pretty good, right?
They are. Actually, I was surprised because so many times you get this grainy footage where you can decipher maybe the person's gender. Usually you can, and you can decipher maybe their race, but usually you can't get a clear shot of them. These are pretty clear pictures.
So in New Hartford, there's another security cam. Have you seen the Home Depot story?
Yes.
And that's another good one where the photos are really, really good. It looks like a white female, a black male, are suspected of stealing more than $1,000 worth of merchandise.
Yeah, in fact, again, you could find those on our website as well. Those
pictures, especially the pictures of the female, are really, really clear. If you look at that picture, you know that person, you'd be like, oh my God, it's Sally.
Yeah.
The hell is Sally doing?
And I wonder, as I looked at the photo, she's wearing a black baseball cap and I think black glasses.
Yeah.
And it seems like there was some effort, maybe, I don't know this, but it's possible there could have been some effort to disguise herself.
I guess that's possible, and the male, not really. I mean, their faces are right there. He's wearing a red cap, and there's a real close up on him.
Yep.
Now maybe the glasses aren't. I don't know, but these seem to be really good pictures, and there's one shot of the female that is very close up.
Yes, and so take a look at those. You can also see another picture of her pushing a cart loaded with merchandise out the front door there. So,
Last night, I remind my wife of the fact that today Springsteen tickets go on sale.
This morning, I think at 10.
This morning, they go on sale 10 o'clock. Bruce Springsteen coming back to the Carrier Dome. My wife was like, "Yeah, I don't want to go to that show." I'm like, "Why? It's Springsteen. I don't really like Springsteen." "Yeah, but I do." "Yeah, I don't want to go."
Ooh.
That's it.
All right, so me and you are going to the concert, huh?
I guess. I will tell you, though, it's hard to get tickets today. It is so hard to get good seats. I mean, and you were, one of the things they did with this show is you were registering. Pre-registering is the new thing they do at Ticketmaster.
Is that to prevent the bots from taking over?
I guess they're making an effort. They're really trying. A lawmaker in Albany is saying, finally, someone was making some sense in Albany.
Okay.
He wants to raise the speed limit to 70 miles an hour on the New York State Thruway.
Yeah, okay, I'm for that.
You might as well do it. I mean, everybody's doing that anyway. And here's the other part. When you go to other highways, when you cross over into other states, they go to 70. So we might as well conform with what the other states are doing in that situation. Now, Griffo would say, yeah, but then we should be changing our signs and using a mileage number as opposed to an exit number on the Thruway. I don't necessarily want to see that. However, I'd be okay with if you put them both on a big sign.
Right.
Keep exit 30, but, say it's 222 miles from the start of the Thruway. Whatever. I'm all okay with that. But I like the increase to 70 miles an hour. Now, critics will say people usually go about 10 miles over the speed limit, maybe 7 or 8 miles over the speed limit to be safe. They're just going to now go 78 to 80 miles an hour because the speed limit has been raised.
Yeah.
And I'd say they're probably already doing that now.
Yeah, again, I find this interesting because 65 miles an hour is the current thruway. I always talk about this, Mohawk Street.
And it used to be 55.
Used to be 55. Mohawk Street from Whitesboro to Marcy to Whitesboro, whichever, is 55 miles an hour. Now, nobody does 55 on that road other than me. I can tell you from driving it every day. The Utica-Rome Expressway, which is thought to be a very dangerous road, especially when it's snowy out, is a 65-mile-an-hour speed limit. So if you can do that there, it would seem like
65?
Oh, yeah, that's...
I think that's
55.
Wrong
about that? Is it 55 or 65?
That's 55, Dave. Davey.
It's
Right?
55.
Let me check that. I thought that was...
Listen, Jeff, save your time. I've already been to court to check it, and the judge confirmed. Yep. I could be wrong. Maybe it's changed, but I have always thought that remained 55.
It's a good thing I found out.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but I
get some tickets myself.
I can tell you unequivocally that the speed limit from Utica, the Utica line on 5S to Frankfort is 55, and that is a clear straightaway. And are you able to check online to see what the speed limit is?
Actually, I am. This is a great little website, nysroads.com.
Oh,
so
that's really cool.
it says speed limit, railroad crossing, speed limit 65.
Well, maybe it is 65.
From Griffiths Technology Park, 825 north, it says is 65 miles an hour, but that can't be because I know through the park it's not 65.
Correct.
To River Street in Oriskany to 88A. So somebody out there is on the road. I'm sure you just passed the sign. Let us know because now I've confused myself. It doesn't take much.
I can. Here's Ross. Route 49 between Rome and Utica is 65. It changes to 55 in Rome and remains that way to Oneida on 365.
That's right.
So,
it does drop to 55 once you get to the bridge in Rome. But, yeah, I thought it was 65. So if you can go 65 there on a road that's considered, dangerous, especially in these conditions, the thruway is primarily straight. It's not as many curves as you get on 49.
I just don't understand why Frankfort to Utica on 5S is still 55. That doesn't make any sense.
I agree with that.
That is a full straightaway. You
agree.
could close your eyes and the car would drive for you.
Please don't try this at home, but I agree with you.
But it's 55 there still. And that one, multiple times, I can tell you, I've confirmed that.
Yeah,
not anymore, though.
Not
Not anymore. I go the speed limit there because you can't keep it going. Jack is in. You can't keep getting tickets. Trust me. Yeah. I've done the defensive course, and it isn't fun. Jack in Rome to tell us I'm wrong. Hi, Jack.
You are wrong, Bill.
Thank
Jeff
you for
is
that.
right.
All right. Thank you.
65 on 49. As soon as you pass the on-ramp part of the 824 that comes off of the base, from that point on, it's 65 all the way into Utica.
When did it go from 55 to 65?
I think when they built it.
Yeah.
Is it?
I remember that one of the things. Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jack.
Right. No, you're right. And then the throughway is 65, but I usually do about 70, 71.
They say you're okay to 72 on the thruway.
Yeah, you could probably do 75, but they won't even, the troopers won't even touch it.
During
It's
COVID,
the ones that are doing 85, 90, 100 miles an hour. And you could tell because if they're going by you like you're sitting
right.
still, you know.
Yeah. That's right. If you see a CX-9 flying by you.
And I got another answer for your yesterday's question.
Okay, all right.
On the amusement rides.
Yes.
Anywhere from 36 to 48 inches high, or the height of the fence of the ride.
Okay.
Is what we used to use. I used to work carnival.
Okay.
And it was the height of the fence is what was the thing. And then after a while, we put up a border sign with a picture of a clown or something.
Right.
And they had them stand up against it, and that's how we measured them.
You know, Jack, the thing that the reason everybody was paying attention to that yesterday is because the family was bragging on TikTok that they put lifts in the kid's shoes, so he was taller and he was able to make the cut. But the reality is
that probably actually happened.
It did happen, and maybe does happen on somewhat regular basis. I don't know, but Jack, would you agree though that height requirement is there for a reason? Because
it's there for the type of ride that they're going to go on.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the adult rides, like the Hurricane or the Paratrooper and stuff like that, wasn't designed for a child. They're an adult ride.
Right.
But if the child grows up and they're a lot bigger than their actual age, I mean, they're allowed to go on the ride.
Right.
So Jack, you have some knowledge in this. Let me ask you. You said some of the signs were anywhere from 36 to 48 inches. That's
the highest it went to allow them to get on.
Oh, the 48 was the cap.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if you're an adult, you can't go on this kiddie ride with your child because
no, that's not always true. Because some amusement rides, like when I worked for Hawkins, we allowed the adults to ride with the children on the rides.
Gotcha. All right. I guess I just wondered because I know it was like Oneida County or Herkimer County, one of the fairs one year. Carter loves going on the rides, so he was like literally an inch short from going on this ride. But he was allowed to go on the kiddie rides. This wasn't an adult ride. It was almost like a mid-level ride.
It depends on the ride.
Yeah, so I would say, to be honest with you, with the mid-level rides, even as a parent, I struggled to see how he would have been injured on this ride because it wasn't that fast. It wasn't like some crazy turns.
I know. It's just the stuff we used to have to go through.
Yeah, but an adult ride, a child on an adult ride, I could see them slipping through. Or
you slip through the harness.
Like the paratrooper and stuff like that.
Jack, if you could, seeing you've worked on these and you're an expert on it, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I'm right. The tilt-a-whirl is still 55, right? I'm pretty sure. Almost positive.
Oh, my gosh.
Right.
You are funny.
All right, Jack, you have a wonderful weekend, all right?
Thank you, Jack.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Right, thank you so much.
Bye.
And by the way, I'd like to say good morning to all the people who are starting their sentence off and their message to me. Like, Keeler, I know you hate to hear this, but you're wrong. Thank you all for clearing that up.
And I will second that, and I will make a promo out of Jack's call.
So the question remains: when I'm traveling from Oriskany or traveling from Marcy to Rome, do I not know it's 65 because I'm still going 55, or am I paying no attention?
Look, it's tough. Confession. I was recently pulled over in Rome on the boulevard there because I thought that was a 40. And I usually, I think I pay attention to the signs.
What were you doing? You were doing 40?
I was doing like 47 in what was a 30, apparently. I didn't know it dipped down to 30 on that boulevard. There's gas stations and restaurants. Like, to me, it's got a...
That's probably your first clue for 30 miles an hour.
Well, it's got a commercial drive feel. And there are, parts of the boulevard, Black River Boulevard, that are 40, but the part I was in apparently was 30. So I got pulled over, and
I
not
would
good.
the thing about for instance Utica is and Wayne, I'm going to remind you that you're the one that caused this. Wayne was on the radio one day saying, I don't know what's going on with Utica, but people are going through that arterial like 50, 60 miles an hour. The cops are sitting right there. They don't stop anybody. 2 weeks later, I'm going down the arterial, coming to work. I get stopped for doing 58 on the arterial. So to say Utica never stops anybody for speeding, I can tell you for sure that's not true.
Yeah.
A couple of others. Tim, I'm a target for state troopers. Mike says 55 on 5S. Herkimer County revenue enhancer. That's what that is.
I was
And it's
jokingly going to
probably
say
right.
that, but
Yeah.
look, if you've got somebody who's speeding, they're going to speed. If you move it to 65, they're going to speed anyway, right? I mean, I don't know that they're always looking. There are people who are always looking to push the 10 miles, 12 miles, 15 miles an hour. So if you move to 65, they'd probably go 80. You know what I mean? You'd get your tickets. Trust me.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm always very uncomfortable about talking about speeding. Greeley Ford says, I know it kills you, Keeler, but Manaski is right. Ross, Bartell, 49 between Rome and Utica, 65. It changes to 55 as you get into Rome. All right, there you go. Let me bring in Willie Waffle, who's our expert when it comes to not just movies, but an expert on all of the stuff streaming. I forgot what we watched last night, but it was good. Must be not that good because I can't remember what it was, Willie.
Yeah, usually, things that are good stand out. Like you remember their name and who was in it.
Yeah,
what
you're
the
right.
story was. Yeah, that's usually a sign.
It was the beginning of a new series. The problem is sometimes when I'm watching stuff at night, I'm also on the laptop doing work and all of that. So maybe I'm not such a good multitasker after all. But Willie, interestingly, you now don't just cover movies in theaters, but you cover everything, streaming, HBO, Netflix, whatever it is. And I saw this week that not only, apparently TV Guide is following your lead. Did you see what they're doing?
No, are they like listing like what comes out new every week in streaming or doing some sort of compilations and stuff?
They are. They have completely transitioned. They're still showing what's on TV and as they always did. But the magazine is now filled with guides to what's new, what's on, what you should watch, what you shouldn't watch, all of that crap.
Well, because that's the way it's going. I mean, I think I remember last year there was a study that people watched streaming and online more than they watched cable and broadcast last year. It was like one of those deals where it was like 34 to 33 to 32 or something like that. But it was a really monumental change, and it shows where the business is going and how we're choosing to consume our material and our entertainment.
So I have to say that we were discussing this last night. There's some things that I still watch. Obviously, sports, news on network television. There may be a show or two that you really like, but even when you're watching network TV, we're watching it differently, right? You can DVR it, but you can also grab it on your Apple TV, and they put these programs on where if you missed it, you can watch it over here. But think about what it used to be like before streaming, before the internet was fast enough to do this. You had your choice. You sat down. You had the pay channels. You had ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox eventually. And when there was a really big show on TV, everybody watched it. The numbers were so high. But today, I was looking at the lineup of TV shows on the networks. I've never heard of these shows before because I'm not paying attention to them.
Yeah, and the audience differences are vastly apparent. I mean, you think about back in the day, quote, back in the day, your top shows were getting like 35 and 40 ratings, and now your top shows get like a 15. Well, that used to get you canceled back in the day.
I know.
Like, back in 1984, you were canceled.
Yeah.
You were done. You just didn't have a big enough audience. So, that has really changed. And I think what's really changed, and I think you see this throughout society, and I think, this has been the impact of the internet. The idea that I just want what I want when I want it. I am not going to schedule my life around being in front of my television at 8 o'clock on Thursday night anymore.
Yeah.
And and that's why even a lot of your big network shows, I mean, they can count in, and they are starting to count in their streaming numbers. So, a great example, Ghosts on CBS, one of my favorite shows. I never watched it on CBS in the first season. I always watched it on Paramount Plus.
Right.
Because all the networks have their own streaming outlets, and they know that's an additional audience, an additional way to reach people. HBO is one of the classics about this. I mean, how many people, watch the big Sunday night series actually on Sunday nights? How many of them are watching it on HBO Max on Monday or Tuesday?
Yep, that's exactly it. And the world has just so changed, and it makes it difficult for, advertisers and the producers are all trying to figure this out. How do we spend money? How do we make money on TV? It's just changed so much. There are more opportunities than ever, but it's gotten so complicated and diluted.
Streaming makes that better for advertisers.
I think
because
so.
When you're streaming something, they've got everything about you, baby. They've got your name, your age, what time you streamed it, what credit cards you like to use, what you ordered from Grubhub last night. I mean, they got it all.
You're right. And they even know if you didn't watch it all. And you'll get a little reminder. Come back and watch the rest of this, will you? Really unbelievable what they're learning about us. It's really incredible. Somebody asked me about Tulsa King. I started to watch this, and I struggled with Sylvester Stallone on this. What are your thoughts?
I've wanted to check this one out. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I was really excited about it when it first came out, and I just, I'm like you guys. I just got busy, and I ran out of space. I ran out of time. But that's one of the cool things about streaming. I can go back. I can watch this weekend. I could watch the whole thing if I really wanted to.
Yeah, you binge away. Yep, watch the whole season.
And to follow up on Willie's point about all the info they get about you, how far, this might already happen, but I'm not aware of it. How far away are we from, you get a push notification on your phone, an alert that says season 4 of your favorite show just dropped on streaming service?
Oh, that's already happened.
They notify you?
Absolutely, yes. Yep. Depending on what services you're subscribed to, but I get that all the time from Apple TV. Or I get a reminder. It knows that I like to watch Syracuse basketball, just through history. So I'll get an announcement starting in minutes. SU Pittsburgh. It's Don't you think you have to go to the bathroom first? Now those will be the next things they'll be telling us. You should pee before you go in and watch this because you don't want to interrupt the show. There was one more thing, Willie, and then I want you to talk about the. Maybe we'll go right into it, and I'll figure it out if I have time. Let's start with the movies for this weekend. The craziest of all, Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear, the movie that should be so bad it's good. The movie that should be so outrageous and so crazy and so over the top that you can't stop laughing, and instead it stinks. It stinks. I am so disappointed in this movie. It's based on this, very loosely based on this true story that there was this drug-running plane full of cocaine that crashed in the mountains and the hills, and in this case, in the movie, in Georgia, and a bear found the cocaine. Now, in the real story, what they found was a bear dead with cocaine all over its face. In the movie, the cocaine makes the bear go crazy, and it starts chasing after everybody who's in the forest, and we have to wonder who's going to live and who's going to die. And I just wanted everybody to die because this thing is just not doing it. I just feel like it felt all throughout the movie that they cut out scenes. Like you could honestly feel like there was a scene that used to be here that got cut out, or things that they referenced that were cut out. That really kind of threw me off. The tone was all over the place. Like I said, this is just supposed to be a crazy gonzo movie. Come on, it's about Cocaine Bear, for God's sake.
Right.
But no. They try to get serious. They try to get more dramatic towards the end as it all becomes about, moms and dads and families. And I don't care. Just show me the bear going crazy.
I'm with you. What do you give it?
I'm giving it half a waffle.
All right, half a waffle. What's the? That's a real disappointment. What's the next? What's the second one you have in theaters?
You've also got Jesus Revolution. This is Kelsey Grammer's big movie. Also based on a true story. This preacher down in Southern California, the church is not doing very well. The congregation is getting older and not around as much anymore. And he ends up opening his doors to this group of young people and this young youth pastor, kind of the 70s hippies. And then this did take place in the 70s as these kids are trying to find some sort of salvation, some sort of guidance, some sort of faith, because their lives have just not been very good. And then we see kind of how the two sides come together, and we see, the impact on the individual lives here. It's a decent feel-good movie. I think Kelsey Grammer, I like him as an actor. He's just a good, solid presence, great chemistry with the other guy played by Jonathan Rumi, kind of the younger preacher. I'm going 2.5 waffles. I think you got a decent, if predictable, story here.
And then I wanted to throw this out. If you're looking for a great series to watch and you have Apple TV, it's worth Apple TV Plus, I think, is Ted Lasso. Have you watched any of that?
Yes. Ted Lasso is an absolutely fantastic series.
Yeah.
That's the one you could binge all in a weekend just because you want to see what happens episode after episode after episode.
What's it about?
It's really about relationships and everything, but it's about a guy from America who is a football coach, and he gets hired after a divorce because the wife wants to tank the husband's soccer team in Great Britain. So she hires him to coach the soccer team. He knows nothing about soccer.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's played by, what's his name from SNL?
Jason Sudeikis, who's absolutely hilarious.
I never really liked him when he was on SNL, but I fell in love with this show, this series. And the new season is coming out in days, right?
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to be one of the final seasons. They haven't really made that totally clear. They haven't totally kind of gotten it all out there. But, yeah, they always had a plan of only doing a couple seasons. So I think that they're almost at the end right now.
All right. Willie, as always, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it, man. We'll talk next week.
Thank you so much.
Creed 3.
Okay. Can't wait. Thank you. Have a great week. WIBX Utica Rome. It is 7 o'clock. Coming up, we have comedians in studio from Fat Cats Comedy Club, WIBX.
Marking 1 year of war in Ukraine. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's their national anthem at a memorial for the tens of thousands killed since Russia invaded.
We need to do everything in our power to not allow Russia to occupy Ukraine.
That's President Volodymyr Zelensky. He says they have to win the war this year, but Russia is showing no signs of stopping. And on this anniversary,
that Russia could just set off missiles across the country. That's why a lot of schools are going remote today, businesses as well, and people being told avoid crowds. It's quiet so far now.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Kyiv.
The U.S. announced another $2 billion in military aid for Ukraine. Among that aid will be a lot of artillery, especially ammunition.
Now, as far as the UN, Secretary of State Antony Blinken will go to a United Nations Security Council meeting the day after a resolution was passed calling on Russia to stop the war. North Korea launched more missiles. Here's Fox's Jonathan Savage.
Pyongyang says its 4 cruise missiles flew for nearly 3 hours, drawing oval and figure-8 patterns over the sea. South Korea disputing some of those details.
This is the U.S. and South Korea work together on military simulations to deal with North Korea's nuclear threat. It was a long, cold night across Michigan. More than 700,000 homes and businesses remain without power and heat for many after an ice storm.
I just hope everybody is fortunate enough to stay warm.
She's in Livonia. There are blizzard warnings in parts of Nevada and Southern California. For the first time in more than 3 years, Florida killed a killer. But before Donald Dilbeck was executed last night for 2 murders in 1990, he had some unusual last words, saying he knows he hurt people and really messed up. Then he took aim at Governor Ron DeSantis, claiming the Republicans done a lot worse, taking a lot from a lot of people. Minutes later, Dilbeck was dead from a lethal injection. America's listening to Fox News.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/now to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/now to get started and save. legacybox.com/now.
Few snow showers outside, 22 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. Well, a New York State parolee was wanted for hitting a Central New York police officer with a vehicle. He's now in police custody again after he was found hiding in a ceiling. That's according to officials with the Shenango County Sheriff's Office, who say several leads helped locate Hayes Cutting Jr. Earlier this week, Town of Norwich police approached Hayes Cutting Jr. in the parking lot of a Stewart shop. It was reported that he was sought on an active arrest warrant. He and a passenger sped off after the police officer approached, resulting in the cop being hit with the vehicle and suffering leg injuries. Cutting Jr. now faces several charges, including assault, tampering with physical evidence, unlawfully fleeing a police officer, and resisting arrest. Law enforcement looking for the public's help identifying suspects in separate investigations, one involving a fraudulent rental property and another case involving theft from a local retailer. New Hartford police releasing photos of a man and woman in regard to a grand larceny investigation at the Home Depot on French Road in New Hartford. The photos show a man and woman at the store. Included is a photo of the woman pushing a cart full of merchandise as she exits the store. You can find those photos on our website. In a separate investigation, Utica police trying to identify a man in connection with a Craigslist scam. It's believed the man in the red baseball cap fraudulently advertised a rental property, then collected money toward a deposit on that property. Again, you can find those photos on our website. And the Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Most Wanted Person of the Week. They're looking for 26-year-old Dimitri Silvignoli of Utica on a criminal contempt charge. That stems from a domestic incident in Utica in July of last year. He's also wanted on an open bench warrant for criminal contempt in the first degree from an incident in October of 2021. Governor Kathy Hochul is urging Congress, rail companies, and the federal regulators to take action to prevent future freight rail hazmat disasters. Following that derailment in Ohio earlier this month, the governor is calling for expedited phasing in of safer tank cars for hazardous materials. She also wants braking regulations to be modernized and the use of electronically controlled pneumatic brakes to be increased so that derailments can be avoided. In a story Bill mentioned last hour, police in Schenectady say that autopsy results on the body that was found along the Mohawk River will not be available until Monday afternoon at the earliest. The remains were discovered by a fisherman on Wednesday near Riverside Park. Police still have not confirmed if the body is that of Samantha Humphrey, a teen who has been missing since November. Anyone with information on that case is encouraged to call police in Schenectady. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast has temps falling through the day today with some snow showers possible. We do have a chance of snow until noon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Today's high, where we are right now, 22 degrees, and temps will be steadily falling through the day. Tonight, we're looking at an overnight low of 4 degrees, with the wind chill bringing that down to 3 below. Chance of snow showers for your Saturday, mainly in the afternoon, a high of 24. Sunday, a chance of snow showers around midday. Sunday's high will be 38 degrees. Right now, mostly cloudy and 21. WIBX News Time, 7:06. All right, in sports, the Giants adding another coach to their staff. Former Panthers assistant Jeff Nixon joins the G-Men as their running backs coach. The 48-year-old also had an interview this offseason with the Dallas Cowboys about possibly becoming their offensive coordinator. Aaron Rodgers is out of the darkness. Still in a Packers uniform, though. Green Bay's quarterback spent several days and nights at Sky Cave Retreats in southern Oregon. The owner of the facility there confirms that Rodgers left yesterday. He told the Pat McAfee Show earlier this month that he planned on spending 4 days and 4 nights in darkness and isolation, hoping to have a better sense of where he is in this point in his life. The Rangers have dropped each of their last 3 games, falling 4-1 to the Red Wings in Detroit last night. The Devils bounced back from their recent loss with a 4-3 overtime victory against the Kings, and the Islanders have won 3 of their last 4 games, entering tonight's battle with the LA Kings in Elmont. Josh Hart hopes to call New York home for years to come after being acquired at the trade deadline from the Trailblazers. The Knicks' new guard said after Thursday's practice he wants to find a home. He said about his short time spent with the Knicks, "It's a perfect situation for me on and off the court." The 27-year-old has $12.9 million in a player option coming up next season. The Utica Comets will play on the road this weekend. They're taking on Cleveland tonight at 7 o'clock. And then the Comets, is that their only game Friday?
I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I can check. I know they're on the road until next Friday night, as a matter of fact. Davey.
They played on the 1st against Bellevue. They're away, and then they come home.
And then they're home, yeah.
And then they have a game on the 5th of March.
This weekend, it's only Friday, though.
Yeah.
Be quite a bit of noise and activity, though, over at the Adirondack Bank Center and the Next Center, and I'll get it right this time, I promise. The Utica men hosting the UCHC Finals. They will take on Manhattanville 7 p.m. tomorrow at the Adirondack Bank Center. The women also hosting the UCHC semifinals. They'll take on Manhattanville College as well. That's tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon at the Nexus Center. Did I get it right this time?
I think you got it. And then, of course, Colgate playing tomorrow, and you probably mentioned Syracuse plays Pittsburgh tomorrow night.
They still got a team, Syracuse?
Yeah. Davey, what do you say?
What do I say?
Pittsburgh tomorrow at what time on ACC Network?
5 o'clock. So you can watch Colgate at 4.
Okay.
And you could tip off with Syracuse at 5. And if Syracuse is playing bad, you can turn over to watch at 4 to watch CBS
don't do
Sports
that.
Network.
I got it.
To watch Colgate.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Davey. Davey's going to the Syracuse game next week. He'll
next Tuesday.
He'll
I'll
be
be
at
there,
the Dome.
Then I'll have a full report on Wednesday of how bad they played.
Okay. It's 7:10. Hold on. We're going to talk a little Community Foundation. We have comedians in studio from Fat Cats Comedy Club. We'll give away some tickets for this weekend. Laura High and Dave Colombo. This is a cool duo that'll be on stage at the same time. We'll talk about it coming up here. At 7:10 at WIBX.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan. Or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer, Michelle. As an entrepreneur, every day is different. My phone bill from Cricket, on the other hand, always stays the same. Without surprises, hidden fees, or annual contracts, I can work worry-free. That's Michelle, everybody, doing business like a boss. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer, paid for testimonial. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Deb's constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating kept giving her grief. She talked to her doctor to get some relief. Deb had irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, which was a start. Saying yes to Linzess helped her do her part.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
And listen, to celebrate 2023, Ricky Z and everybody at Steve Ponte Mazda are ready to take advantage of this year. New Mazda sales event is underway. They have over 100 new Mazdas on the way. Over 100 new Mazdas on the way. So you can enjoy financing, leasing, whatever. Pre-owned vehicles are wonderful over there. The brand new vehicles, as we said, over 100 brand new Mazdas ready to go. The new 2023 award-winning Mazda is in. It's the Steve Ponte Mazda New Year, New Mazda sales event. It's going on right now. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda. Love the CX-9. The new 2023 CX-9 is awesome. It's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay. So a little, it's going to continue to get colder today. Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, temps are falling. We're
Lovely.
at the high right now.
And, you know, all that was wet yesterday is now all frozen over and all of that stuff. So be dealing with that. Be careful with that this morning. Alicia Dixon, studio right now from the Community Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. So we wanted to chat with you about some of the priorities that you're going to be looking at with partnerships and the work that you guys do for the upcoming 2023. Or I guess it's not upcoming anymore, is it?
Yeah, we're almost done with the first quarter.
Could I have you pull that right close to you? Sorry.
There you
go. Yes.
Yeah, you got to literally be close to, so close.
How's that?
Perfect.
Perfect.
The batteries are low. Perfect. Okay, so what's the plan for 2023?
Well, the plan is to really implement what we've been planning for the last 4 or 5 years, which is implementation of a revitalization strategy in Cornhill in particular, through impact centers and other efforts, all through partners, nonprofit, government, and for-profit, as well as investing in centers in Camden, in Little Falls, in Old Forge, just trying to bring resources together to help communities thrive.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what those centers would do in Camden, Little Falls, and I think Old Forge was the other?
Yeah, those are all specific to partner outreach or partner programming. If you don't mind, I can talk about the Impact Center in Cornhill a little better because those are going to be more flexible to meet the demands and needs of the residents that it's serving. The others are, through partners that are doing maybe senior programming or family services or youth programming, which we'll all be doing in the Impact Center as well.
The Impact Center in Cornhill, I believe, will that have the entrepreneurial space, which I think is really unique to, I don't know, any community, but certainly to this one.
Yeah, I mean, Cornhill is a very unique community, has a lot of opportunity, and we really haven't capitalized on that. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of residents who need access to success, whether it's training for the new economy so they can get to Wolf Speed or New Air or even Micron, as well as how about some small business development and infill development for the neighborhood so it's thriving again. So the Entrepreneur Center is critical to helping residents, achieve those goals and hopefully investing right in that neighborhood. That neighborhood was once, as I understand it, a very vibrant, happening, walkable place, right? And why not try to bring, we can't go back, but we can go forward and try to bring a vibrancy to that neighborhood that's clean, safe, friendly. We all know the safety issues that are going on in gun violence. So how do we address those issues among so many others? Better parks, better walkability, better lighting, better fitness trail or access to wellness. All of those things matter to take care of the whole neighborhood.
What are you playing any role with the St. E's?
The St. E's redevelopment?
The redevelopment of?
Not directly. Years ago, we did help fund a adaptive reuse analysis or study. So obviously, there's quite a few things that building, if invested properly, could be converted into. So now I believe they're going through an RFP process to find a developer.
And then I do believe that this time, at this time, as we go into 2023, the hospital's going to be reopened, or is going to be opening. Mm-hmm. The Nexus Center is open. You're going to start to see all the garage will be done at some point, probably in 2024. But maybe earlier. They're ahead of schedule because of the weather. But all of the things that have happened, what's going on in Marcy, the base, things that are happening in the valley as they're growing and adding things down there. It does seem that for the first time, things are starting to happen. And the next phase of all of this is you have businesses that begin to pop up and grow around the development. Talk about that and how important 2023 is to that.
Yeah, it's critical that we create an authentic place, right? So all of this growth that you're talking about will only compound more growth where we create interesting spaces and places, right? And that's not going to be, creating strip malls with all of the, national chain restaurants. We have authentic food. We have authentic experiences. We have people from all over the world here that could, open up really creative spaces. So it's really about what will our area be in the future and how do we get there? So that people don't only want to work here and stay here, but attract to live here, because that's what we need for some of these businesses to be successful, including Micron and Syracuse. It's not out of the question that people could be traveling even from Herkimer or further away for those jobs. So how do they stay here? What are those elements? And it's healthy communities. It's places that have options for everybody. And that's really the vibrancy we're talking about.
You mentioned it. It really never dawned on me, except it just reminded me that you currently are starring in a television commercial for a restaurant, Aquavino. But isn't that unique, though, what happened there? And how often, think about from 1960 to current, we've been talking about, remember, the old such and such a restaurant has been there for years. Olive Garden just came in and took over the property. They tore it down and started over. the chains take over the local restaurants. Isn't it unique that Aquavino just took over a chain restaurant?
Well, I think that was happening, you're right, for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, the mall mentality was that growth plan was everywhere in the United States. That's why there's a little bit of disauthenticity in some of our communities. But I think local is back, and people are interested in shopping in different ways, obviously online, but also smaller shops. The thrift market is exploding. People are being more conscientious. But local food is, especially in this area, we're a food town. We're a hockey town. We're a lot of things town, right? But if we capitalize on that, it's going to be an outstanding experience to live, work, and play in this area.
Yeah, I agree. And it looked like by the look on your face in the commercial, you did enjoy it. I thought
you just had to point that out.
I did.
Huh? So to be clear, I didn't know I was in the commercial.
Oh, you did not know?
I had no idea. I saw it on,
that makes it more authentic. I like that.
It's scary because on Super Bowl Sunday, my phone exploded and I actually saw it and I thought, really? You couldn't catch me smiling?
Yeah, I thought it was a good look. It was a look like, wow, this is so good.
Well,
and you know what? It really
has
is.
been good.
Yeah.
I've been we've been fortunate that the transition has been great and the team has done a fabulous job.
Yeah.
I mean, Beverly and Rob and the team are just fantastic.
You see them greeting as a commercial opens, and that's exactly what it's like when you go there. So
we wanted to keep that style of hometown family.
I love it. We're big fans.
Can we talk about the timeline a little for this development center in Cornhill? And then I know there's housing that's along with it as well. We talked about the timeline kind of for the hospital. What are we looking at for these improvements and investments in Cornhill?
So it's great that you mentioned the housing component because at first it was just the center. And then during COVID, as you know, there was the housing crisis that is now ever evolving. And we looked at our sites and said, if we team up with a housing partner, we can put some units upstairs and build this out to be a great complement for the community. Market rate, low income housing for seniors, because that's a very needed market in Cornhill neighborhood. So that's our target area for housing. So it is now a mixed-use housing. We're doing 2 sites on James Street and on West Street with partners at People First. And we're hoping to apply by end of this quarter, early Q2, and hopefully be in the ground by the end of the year if all goes well with Homes and Community Renewal, which is HCR, the funder that we're applying for.
All right. Great stuff, Alicia. Thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate seeing you guys again.
Alicia Dix from the Community Foundation. And by the way, Real Men Get Tested uses the Community Foundation.
Just going to say that.
Great organization that allows us to not have to go through all of the 501c3 paperwork and the attorneys and everything. We can utilize yours and this umbrella, the Community Foundation umbrella, and it works. So if you want to give to Real Men Get Tested, you write the check to the Community Foundation.
And we'll make sure it gets put to good use.
All right. We've actually have somebody that bought some tickets last week that'll be doing that real soon. So, Alicia, thank you so much.
Thank you, and we'll say, go get tested.
Go get tested. Get out there and get tested. We spent 2 years not doing that. I think we're seeing, sadly, the result of that. So, quick break. Thank you. 7:25 at WIBX.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the Utica Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? The stress from excessive credit card debt can ruin your life. Collection calls, sleepless nights. If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. DebtBlue uses secret programs that most credit card companies won't tell you about. They'll help you consolidate or settle your debts for a fraction of what you owe. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved. There's no risk. The more you owe, the more DebtBlue can save you. See how easy it is to get started with free information. Let DebtBlue show you how 10 minutes could save you thousands. Call Call now, 800-211-5779. That's 800-211-5779.
I'm just living sky high right now. I'm very thankful for it, and the team at JetBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now, 800-211-5779. That's 800-211-5779.
Sure, you can buy blank uniforms, but what if there was a one-stop shop option that could do it all? Order your uniform, tailor it to fit you, sew on patches, embroider your name, and screen print your tees. A&P Master Images can do that and more. Order one piece for yourself or set up an online store for your whole department to order online. Come and pick it up, have it shipped to your doorstep, or even ask for free delivery to your departments in our local area. A&P Master Images is a New York State certified woman-owned business and can help you or your department fulfill grant requirements too. And if all of this wasn't enough, if you run out of department patches, we can make those too. Don't forget about your fleet of vehicles either. A&P Master Images produces and installs vinyl graphics. Find brands like 511, Proper, Game, Rothko, Redcap, Cherokee, and others. Selling blank apparel is easy. Becoming a one-stop shop to handle all your needs is what A&P Master Images does to make it easy for you, our customer. Visit masteryourimage.com or stop into our showroom at 205 Water Street behind the Utica Odd.
Hi, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Do you have unused or expired medicine in your home? Any medication can be harmful if misused or accidentally taken by a child or pet. Let us help you safely dispose all your unused medicines with easy-to-use medication deactivation bags that can be thrown away in your home trash. While supplies last, get 2 free medication disposal bags mailed directly to your home.
Hurry and don't delay. Order yours now at ocopioidtaskforce.org. That's ocopioidtaskforce.org.
Adam and Grace finally made it to retirement. They decided this was their time. They drove in from Herkimer to Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive in the Hannaford Plaza next to Red Lobster. They wanted to see the number bed they'd heard so much about. Adam had a bad back. He liked his side firm. We elevated his head, his feet, put the massage on medium. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Grace liked her side softer. She was a 24. She had her head elevated slightly less, her feet a little higher, and the massage on high. They were thrilled to find out it had a 25-year industry-leading warranty. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, so they didn't have to wait for their tax return. For their luxury reward, they chose a 65-inch flat-screen TV. They laid on the Purple and the Puffy, the big online brands while they were there, but the number bed was for them. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com or visit any store.
Hey, I want to tell you, if you're looking to sell your home in 2023, consider River Hills Properties. And why would you do that? River Hills is different. The services they provide, different. The things they do for you, whether you're the seller or the buyer, different. Extra, and it all begins with the fact that the listing agent is there every time your house is shown. Your house will not be shown without your listing agent there, and this is all about basically the lockbox, right? So they don't use the lockbox. That means that with it, an agent will come in with someone who's walking through your home. No one is home. They've been able to get through the door by typing in a code. The key pops out, and they enter. If they have a question, there's nobody there. If they're looking through your house, looking for the light switch, there's no one there to assist. With River Hills, your listing agent gets there before, opens the door, turns on the lights, makes sure you're putting your best foot forward. It makes all the difference in the world. And we talked about Jimmy Fallon at Fat Cats Comedy Club from last weekend. Soon, Jimmy will be doing some commercials for River Hills Properties and endorsing them. Pretty cool. They had a chance to meet over last weekend, and it's different, and Jimmy Fallon loves that. It's River Hills Properties, Barneville, Little Falls, Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. And Jimmy Fallon, noon till 3, today on WIBX.
All right, some light snow showers, 22 degrees, WIBX news time, 7:31. Stay tuned. I've got news on that possible 5th candidate for mayor.
Really?
I've got a strong suggestion here from somebody.
Okay, I won't give you my guess, but.
Well, let's hear it.
Gary Heenan. No, but he is coming up.
He is coming up in a minute. A ruling by a federal judge in Texas could block access to an abortion pill throughout the U.S. A group of anti-abortion doctors is asking a U.S. District Court judge in Amarillo to vacate the FDA approval of the abortion pill mifepristone, I believe is how it's pronounced. The group claims the drug was improperly approved by the FDA in 2000. The judge there could rule on that lawsuit today. After a year of war in Ukraine, military experts point to more misery with no end in sight. After the Russian invasion in Ukraine on February 24th of last year, President Biden called Russia's assault an unprovoked, premeditated attack on the people of Ukraine. The past week in Poland, President Biden did visit and frame the war in Ukraine as a test of global democracy. A federal judge in Washington, D.C. ruling yesterday the former President Donald Trump could be deposed as part of the lawsuits filed by two former FBI officials who were fired after Trump was elected in 2016. Trump publicly criticized former FBI agent Peter Strzok and former FBI attorney Lisa Page for years after their release of the text messages in which they disparaged Trump and said they were worried he'd be elected president. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says U.S. inflation is coming down, but there's still more work to be done. Yellen spoke to reporters this morning on the sidelines of a G20 financial meeting in southern India and said inflation is coming down if you measure it on a 12-month basis, but there's still more work to do to bring it in line with the Federal Reserve's 2% target. A Soyuz spacecraft is on its way to the International Space Station on a mission to provide a way back to Earth for NASA astronaut Frank Rubio and two Russian cosmonauts. The spacecraft that brought Rubio and the Russians to the space station started leaking coolant after an apparent micrometeor punctured an external radiator. And fans of the Lord of the Rings franchise, can plan on taking a trip back to Middle-earth sometime soon. Warner Brothers Pictures announcing Thursday during an earnings call that the company brokered a deal to make multiple movies based on the beloved J.R.R. Tolkien books. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast. Still calling for some snow shower chances through about noon today, otherwise mostly cloudy. Your high, where we are right now, 21 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 4 degrees. We'll see temps falling throughout the day. An overnight low of 4 with wind chill values as low as 5 below. Saturday, a chance of snow showers in the afternoon. Tomorrow's high, 24. Chance of snow showers Sunday as well, otherwise mostly cloudy, and a high of 38. We've got some light snow. 21 degrees, WIBX News Time, 7:34. And as promised, we've been talking about
WIBX.
We've been talking about a possible fifth candidate for the Utica mayor's race.
Okay, I'm very interested in this.
This comes from current City Comptroller Bill Morehouse. Are you ready?
Who's in the know? He's always in the know.
Here's his comment. Can we please get Alicia Dix to run for mayor of Utica? If she does not have a home in the city already, I will buy her one.
Wow.
How about that?
I think she's doing an amazing job with all of the work at the Community Foundation and really with the Comets and with the Mohawk Valley Garden and all of that. Good choice by Bill.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
So we don't
officially
what
happened to him,
fifth.
though? He was going to be running.
Yeah, he considered it, I think, but I don't know. I keep hearing there's going to be a fifth. Maybe it'll be him, but I don't think it will be him.
Cordelia in Rome. Good morning, Cordelia.
Good morning. On another subject, with the snowstorms out in California now.
Yeah.
It was just said on today's show that the Hollywood sign got so much snow that it came right down.
You're kidding me.
No, and I believe it because when I lived in Colorado, I went to Denver to a meteorologist seminar, and they predicted in so many years, they weren't quite sure the prediction on the years, but that California is going to be getting East Coast weather, and we're going to start getting more summery here.
Yeah.
And then with that fault line that they always talk about, they predict that California will break off from the main part of the.
Do you think we're gonna? If you could just turn that radio down just a little bit?
Okay.
Yeah, get that turned down. But do you think that'll happen in our lifetime?
No, but you could see the turning of
it's happening.
Of the weather, and they're getting blasted right now.
I know. Listen, all I just I was just trying to remember what I had said. Now I remember. Cordelia, I will just tell you, I'm all for it. Global warming, bring it on. I'm not a winter fan. Let's bring on the warmer weather. I'm with you.
You know,
all
with
right.
all this global warming, I feel so sorry for
I know.
former Vice President Gore because they mocked him because of all the global warming he was predicting. But the guy was right on.
He was right on.
Well, except for his, he's predicted the end of the world like 19 times now. In fact, I think it was supposed to end tomorrow, but he's pushed it back to Tuesday. So
Well, that's all right.
Let's not forget he invented the internet, so he's got a lot to be proud of. Okay, thank you, Cordelia. You have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, I know I haven't been bound, but I've been busy with other things.
Well, it's great to hear
Take
from you.
care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye now. Wonderful weekend now. I was just picking up where I left off.
And if you didn't believe we were on delay, well, now you know it.
Got a break. Let's do our free money question of the day. We have some comedians in studio we'll speak with coming up. Davey, this morning we're looking for caller number 4. Your opportunity to win $100 from the Hobica Law Firm. I have a good question that's fitting today, I think. Fourth caller through the lines will give you a shot to win next. 315-736-0186.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, "Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing." Or this one, "I use Navage every night. Could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better." Unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica, Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Good morning, good morning.
Why is she going again?
Yoko Ono. And just listen to her sing the voice of beautiful.
Are you sure it's... You always say Yoko Ono. I think it's
definitely
Yoko Oh No.
Oh,
I think
no.
that's what it is.
You're right. Let's do our free money question of the day. Jack is on in Herkimer. Jack, good morning. Okay, Jack is not on in Herkimer. Davey, either take him or I'll take the first caller through the lines right now. Great question. Chance for you to win $100 from Habica. Make it the first caller right now, Davey, and I'll take them. In studio right now, we have comedians Dave Colombo and
how are you?
Laura High. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you tonight?
And get your microphones up. Where are you guys coming from? The city?
New York City.
New York City. Okay, so...
We're not used to this much ample parking. It's great.
It's a very good point. I have to tell you, my daughter is going to school there, and I moved her into a new apartment, and I took a U-Haul van, which apparently was an extended van. I didn't know it was extended. Got it down there. We're going to spend the night and tried to park the U-Haul van.
Oh, no.
No one would take it.
Yeah.
Every garage I went to, nope. And, where are you going to find parking? So I went to our hotel, and I'm like, could you have any idea where I can park this thing? And they're like, we don't know. I don't think a garage won't take that. See, everybody knew. Everybody knew
What,
but
you got
me.
the extended model? No,
Yeah.
not the extended one.
Yeah, everyone wants to talk. Everyone's be like, "Oh, that looks great. Hey,
Yeah.
good luck."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, the bellhop is like, hey, there's an opening. A car just left. There's an opening right now. So now remember, I have a van. It's extended. It's huge for a van. So he's like, right there, in between those two cars. And I swear I couldn't have parked the Honda Prelude I used to drive as a kid in that spot. And he is directing me in. He's, come on, back, turn it around. I'm backing the thing in. Whoa, you're hitting the car behind you. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, I somehow got that vehicle parked. Mm-hmm. And Saturday night, it became free parking for Sunday. So it cost me like $12 to park that in New York City.
But you forgot the hardest part about New York City, which is there's so many bystanders who were watching you do that parking.
Oh, I know.
Oh, they watched you for fun.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There is no. They'd stop as it was like
cheaper than a Broadway show,
which makes it more nerve-wracking for me.
Oh, that's cheap entertainment for New York City.
You're right. You're right.
We have a car, and the problem is that if the trip was an hour, parking's also an hour. So we build that in. We're like, I'm here. I'm just circling. That's our line.
Yeah.
Like I'm circling.
I'm circling, guys. I've been but because of like all the outdoor restaurants, so much of the street parking has been
gone.
like it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's awful, and we end up spending an hour, and it's this constant like looking at all the other drivers like, are you moving? You moving?
Yeah.
I love the whole concept too down there where they'll come down, put money in the meter about every couple of hours, or there's the alternate side of the street thing where they're going down and moving their car to go to the other side of the street.
Right.
So
that's what we
world.
do.
Yeah.
9 in the morning, you're out with your car, like doing this like square dance with all the other neighbors.
It's a thing you have to do. It's part of living there. Yeah. Which is why they say, why would you have a car in New York City? All right. But with you guys, you do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. I want you to know that I've been doing comedy since 1993, and I've never had an act come in that was a duo act, and let alone a husband and wife. You guys are recently married, right?
Yes, married this June.
In June.
Thank you.
So you're going to be on stage together, which is really cool. And you're also is it test tube?
No, I'm a sperm donor baby.
Sperm donor baby. We'll talk about that coming up. Because there's some things where, have you met your sperm donor?
I know who he is, but he's made it very clear that he is not interested in any contact.
Okay, all right.
Which medically is so much fun.
Yeah, right, because you don't know. Oh, we'll talk all about it coming up.
We'll talk about it, yes.
All right, Kathy is on in Rome here. Hi, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I am almost going to guarantee that you're going to win this, okay? It's going to be, and here we are in our final days of February. It's been a low, we haven't had a lot of winners this month, so you can change that. Are you ready? Kathy?
I am.
Kathy? Good morning. Okay, here we go. Here is your question. You know, you have 7 seconds to answer this wonderful question. NBC's Laugh-In was hosted by these two comedians. In fact, their names were in the title. Ready? Go.
Rowan and Martin.
Oh, there you go. You can stop it right now. I told you that was really easy and perfect for you. You win $100
Where's
in
my
cash.
winning sound effect?
It's
gone.
$100 in
Thank
cash. Congratulations, Kathy. All right,
Thank
that
you.
was worth the phone call. Stand
Bill,
by.
any more news about that pervert around town?
You mean in Rome? Yeah, I'm told that he's no longer peeping.
Oh, well, that's good. I was thinking about, I have a big picture window and I have lace curtains, and I was thinking about changing my curtains, but
Yeah, like to a
now
shotgun.
he's gone.
Well, I'm told that maybe he was reminded that that this is not the right thing to do, and someone's going to shoot him, right?
Oh, he
And
thought before that standing outside of someone's
apparently-
window and doing
well,
those things was appropriate.
all I know is I'm told it's over with. It's not happening anymore. So,
Oh, well, that's good.
all right, Kathy, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, Bill.
Davey's going to hook you up.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So far, you guys have heard 2 phone calls, and both of them are quite unique.
Yes. In fact, they're already packing their bags. I don't know that they're going to make the show.
That just warmed my heart.
I think
She's
you
wonderful.
should put
Yeah.
both of them on the payroll. You got weather from Cornelia,
And Peeping Tom sightings from
this is
from,
great.
from
But
Kathy.
I'm glad the pervert has learned his lesson. I'm glad whoever he had a stern talking to.
I guess what was going on is he literally was being caught just standing there looking into people's windows, not necessarily sexually for what they were doing. I'm assuming that might have been, I don't know. But not looking in bedroom windows necessarily, but just looking in the front window.
In New York City, that's just a Thursday.
Yeah,
That's just,
you're right.
yeah, wow.
Especially too, you have apartments. You could, the lights are on. You can look out your window and you're looking right into somebody else's.
But nobody's looking in to look at people. We're basically looking in at real estate. We're like, oh my God, how did they furnish that one bedroom? Oh my God, that was
lot
good.
of good
That's
Southern
amazing.
light in that room.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
All
You go,
right.
man. That studio has high ceilings. I wonder how much they pay in rent.
So I did the Ronan Martin thing because that's the duo on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is certainly different, and here we are in 2023. What made you guys think to do this together on stage? So what's the plan?
Well, it was, first of all, we kind of noticed that as stand-up comedians, we're always kind of finding jokes, and we live together and we do everything together. So we were finding that, we were individually writing jokes about the same topics.
Right.
Well, because we would have to sort of argue who gets which jokes because things would happen to us or there would be an argument and we both look at each other and we're like, oh, that's a good bit. No, it's mine. It's mine.
Okay, well, I'm writing a bit about how you load the dishwasher poorly.
Well, I'm writing a bit on how angry you get about loading the dishwasher poorly.
No. Okay, well, then you have to give me that, we just...
Okay, but then I get your snoring bit. And we would have to barter with it. And, for us, it was we would always make each other laugh. And, at times we would make friends laugh, riffing off of each other about, telling stories and stuff. And we know each other's sets at this point beyond well. I think that we each could do each other's hour.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of had this dream of well, what if we did it on stage together? What if we did a duo act together? What if we could do this?
Like a Rowan and Martin type
exactly,
thing.
But update it, make it 2023, and talk about being in a relationship and being a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad's an old-timey kind of guy. He originally gave me this idea, but I think he was imagining that I would just be like, women, am I right? And then she would be like,
Right.
men, So we wanted something
a
little bit more
modernized.
a tad more nuanced than that, but that general idea.
Yeah. What's the series on the female comic series that streams from New York City?
It's not Schumer. No,
Oh,
right?
Broad City?
No, I forget it. I can't remember, but I'll get there. I can't remember anything these
Somebody's
days.
shouting at their radio
So
right now.
I wanted to talk about your sperm donor thing. So this I hate to call it the sperm donor thing.
I'll take it
All
as
right.
long as someone's talking about it. I don't care.
But you were born via the sperm of a donor.
Yes.
And talk about that and your quest to figure out who he was.
Yes. So
And it gets deeper than that too.
Oh, it gets wild. But that's the thing that I have found out about donor conception is all the stories are wild. It's very hard to find a non-wild donor conception story. So I was conceived in 1987. My parents were trying for 3 years, going through hormone therapy for 3 years. Both of my parents had issues. My mom's could be fixed. My dad's could not. So they decided to do donor conception. And my mom had a full reconstructive surgery. And then she was ovulating on a holiday weekend, which also happened to be the Jewish New Year, which will be important later on.
Okay.
But just remember that.
All right.
And so they were like, okay, sorry, but the clinic will be closed. We'll have you come in next month. And you have to remember, she was on 3 years of hormone therapy. Like, she's in pain right now. If you,
Right.
Like, these drugs are, like, no joke, especially, like, this was in the 80s because
Right.
I'm 34. My industry age is 25, but 34.
You look 25.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I asked you to say that. But anyway, so the doctor said, okay, I have an idea. What we'll do is he looked at my mom and he's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to organize with a donor for him to drop the sperm off at a hotel concierge. You go pick it up and then go inseminate it with your husband.
Wow. That's just how it's done. In this case.
I mean, it shouldn't have been done that way.
Yeah.
That is one place where I sort of judge my parents. I'm like, you guys agreed to that?
Right.
You
Right.
agreed to that? What?
But I imagine they're desperate, though. They want to have a child.
They do, and I do have, like, you know, obviously I understand the fertility drugs and everything, but there is a part of me that is like, you guys treated me like you were buying a bootleg kidney. Like, thanks, Mom and Dad. I also joke with them. I was like, there is no way I would have become a lawyer after that. That's how you started my life. Of course, I was going to be a stand-up comedian, guys. Like, of course.
No surprise.
But then my favorite part was my mom says she was at the hotel. She got the sperm. She kept it close to her to keep it warm because it was fresh sperm. I was fresh from that morning.
Wow.
And went to my father's office, and that's where I was made. Not conceived, made like a Toyota. But I'm like, wait a minute. The clinic was closed because of a holiday, but my dad couldn't take a day off?
Yeah, right.
My dad was, because my dad's a workhorse, and so I was conceived in his office, apparently. Like, he was like, all right, honey, put those legs up, and just inseminated me, and my mom.
And it worked.
It worked, and my dad went back to his spreadsheet, and, but the reason is, so, like, back then, my parents couldn't pick the donor. Many kids who were like made in like the 70s, 80s, the parents were never allowed to pick the donor. But the clinic said we just match the donors to the dads as best we can. Hair color, eye color, ethnicity.
Right.
But the number one thing that the clinic said we matched before anything else was religion.
Okay.
Which I do not understand. Like, that was a weird 80s move.
Yeah.
I don't I really want to know, like, was there a big difference between like Protestant and Lutheran sperm?
Right,
Like, I really want to know.
Right.
I mean, obviously the Catholic sperm is very pageantry. Like, I get it.
That's right. Everything is formal.
Very formal, lots of singing, ornate robes. I get that. But so my dad is Irish, Scottish, and Catholic. And my donor, we just took the ancestry test, was 100% Ashkenazi Jewish.
Wow.
Slightly different. So that's why I enjoy the fact that I was conceived on the Jewish New Year.
So you said your dad is Catholic.
My dad, the man who raised me, is Catholic, yes.
And your mom?
Is Catholic as well. So
Wow.
I was raised Catholic. I was an altar server. So, like, I know that nobody can see me, but, like, I have very apparent, strong Ashkenazi Jewish features. Like, I've had Hasidic Jewish people come up and speak Yiddish to me, and I would be like, I'm not Jewish, and they would look at me and they're like, okay. They kind of they were like, are you lost? Like, do you need help? Like, we'll bring you home. Did someone kidnap you?
Wow.
That's
an amazing story.
Yeah, it is.
And it just shows you how the contributors to the child, how one has more. Oftentimes, one is more dominant. Sometimes you see a child and you're like, wow, it's a combination of the two of you. Other times, it's like, oh, my God, you look just like your father.
I mean, I do look like a carbon copy of my mom, but I just look like Yentl version of my mom.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But I mean, like, this isn't a joke. Like, I also do acting, and the number one role that I'm called in the most for, hands down over anything else, is Holocaust victim.
Wow.
Hands down. That is my market. And they have been calling, like, before I even knew I was Ashkenazi Jewish, they've been, like, before I knew, they were just like, yeah, you look like someone who's been through genocide. We'll put you over here.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
So people have been calling that, like, they've been calling it since I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
Man. Imagine being typecast as a Holocaust victim. I mean,
right.
That's the only role you're getting.
That's the only. You know what? It's one way to make a living.
You walk in, you see the producers whispering, and you're just like, okay, I know. I'll just get in the outfit. Oh my goodness! Like, okay.
So it's like, what kind of scream do you guys want today?
Today, when they go for donors, it's much different today, right?
Not really.
It isn't. But can't you look at pictures today of the?
It's all lies. I'll be honest. It's all lies. To me, actually, it's much worse today because the infertility industry is much better at lying.
Yeah.
When I was there, I mean, obviously, we're picking the sperm up at a hotel concierge. We know this is not regulated.
Right. That is absolute. Yeah.
But now they make it seem like it's this super well-regulated oiled machine. It's not. It's not even federally It is not even federally illegal for a doctor to switch out the chosen donor DNA for their own. It's not.
Wow.
That is only illegal in 11 states.
Wow. There was just a story, wasn't there, where I had a story 6 months ago where a guy had it's expected that he probably has like 300 children because he deposited so often. And doesn't that make you? Don't you get worried like when you meet somebody?
Oh, we had to get a DNA test before we got engaged.
Because you wouldn't know.
Because I look exactly like my dad, but, 10 minutes of listening to the stories of the industry and how, like, the illusion of regulation, and we're like, well, we got to find out.
Yeah. Because it's not necessarily, not that your parents used anything other than natural conception, but who your parents might be related to could be your donor.
Right.
Well, like maybe one of his uncles was a donor. Anything like that could happen. Actually, you guys are pretty close to one of the doctors who was switching out sperm for his own, and he is still in practice in Rochester.
Wow.
It's all over the news.
I remember this story.
Yeah, Dr. Wortman of Rochester. Hi, Dr. Wortman. I've been giving him a very hard time on my TikTok because he's still in practice, and he switched out the chosen donor sperm for his own at least 18 times, we have found.
Why would you want to do that?
That's the million-dollar question. Everybody listening who's like, that seems like a weird... You're right. You're right. It is strange.
We have so far caught over 50 doctors who have done that in the United States.
Wow.
And so I was in Washington, D.C. in January with fertility fraud victims and, supporting them and trying to rally congressmen to get H.R. 451 passed, which would make it federally illegal for that. And it's like, this is like, there are nuanced subjects to infertility that I'm like, I understand. Like, that would take debate. That would take time. This one isn't. Like, this is so black and white.
This is a no-brainer.
This is so bipartisan, and this was a bipartisan bill. Both sides of the aisle contributed. We have both sides of the aisle in terms of like who were the co-authors for this.
Yeah.
This is everyone can agree that it's like no, what you choose should be what you get.
Which in this day and age, how on earth can you have anything bipartisan? This is one of them.
And the bill's gone nowhere, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine the bill's gone nowhere.
Somehow it'll still get.
It'll go nowhere.
It's been aborted.
All right, sit tight. We'll talk with you guys more next hour. They'll have Fat Cats Comedy Club this weekend. Go to fatcatscomedyclub.com. Davey, I'll take the first caller through the lines. We'll give away a table for 6 for tonight or tomorrow night, whichever show you want. Call Davey 315-736-0186. We'll take care of you. WIBX, Utica, Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
It's now 1 year since Russia invaded. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and Ukraine remains defiant.
Do we have the resolve and the power? Yes, we are indeed to do so. We're in unity. We stand together.
And President Volodymyr Zelensky says they can defeat Russia this year. Canadian lawyer turned Ukrainian soldier Dan Bilak tells the Fox News Rundown podcast today.
When you're faced with a war of extermination and annihilation, you have no choice but to win. Because if you don't win, you die.
There are hundreds of thousands of casualties on both sides already. Russia shows no signs of stopping with an offensive in eastern Ukraine.
And the head of the Russian mercenary group Wagner says his fighters have taken control of a Bakhmut suburb.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House says the U.S. is readying new sanctions on Russia and $2 billion in new military aid for Ukraine.
Today's package includes HIMARS, artillery, laser-guided rockets, a number of drones, also mine-clearing equipment, communications equipment, and funding for training and maintenance.
It's been 3 weeks since that freight train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, leading to a toxic disaster.
We have no evidence that the crew did anything wrong.
NTSB Chairperson Jennifer Homendy, investigators believe a set of wheels may have failed on one of the rail cars as residents complain of sicknesses and a slow Biden administration response. Now, President Biden has yet to announce he's running for re-election, but if he does, he has a Democratic challenger. Self-help author Marianne Williamson has launched a 2024 campaign. She also ran in 2020. 3 Republicans have also started running, including former President Trump. It's another day without power for hundreds of thousands of people across Michigan after an ice storm. Snow is going to be a big problem this weekend in the Southern California mountains.
Those are blizzard warnings in places where you typically do not see blizzard warnings around Los Angeles.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz, some areas could get 7 feet of snow. America's listening to Fox News.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/now to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/now to get started and save. Legacybox.com/now.
Cloudy skies. Still dealing with some rain showers. 21 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's. Tax time is the best time for record-breaking savings at My Carl's. Thousands of items, all in stock, easy, no credit needed financing. Only at My Carl's Furniture in the New Hartford Shopping Center and now open in Destiny, USA. Several local cases involving law enforcement looking to identify people caught on security camera footage. Law enforcement looking for the public's help. First case involves New Hartford police. They're releasing photos in regard to a grand larceny investigation at the Home Depot on French Road. Photos show a man and woman at the store. Included is a photo of a woman pushing a cart full of merchandise as she exits the store. You can find their photos on our website. Also, Utica police trying to investigate a man in connection with a Craigslist scam. It's believed that he fraudulently advertised a rental property and then collected money toward a deposit on that property. Those photos also available on our website. And we have the Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Most Wanted Person of the Week. Utica police are searching for 26-year-old Dimitri Silvignoli of Utica on criminal contempt charges. That stems from a domestic incident that occurred last July. He's also wanted on an open bench warrant for criminal contempt in the first degree, stemming from a domestic incident that occurred in October of 2021. The race for mayor of Utica takes an interesting turn, and many Republicans are not happy about it. Republican Robert Cardillo announcing that he has received the Conservative Party endorsement for the upcoming November election for Utica mayor. Because the party opted against a primary, Cardillo will have a spot on the ballot in November regardless, even if he loses the Republican primary to Mike Galimi in June. Primary day is coming up on June 28th. Governor Kathy Hochul is urging Congress, rail companies, and federal regulators to take action to prevent future freight rail hazmat disasters. Following that derailment in Ohio earlier this month, the governor's calling for the expedited phasing in of safer tank cars for hazardous materials. She also wants braking regulations to be modernized and the use of electronically controlled pneumatic brakes to be increased so that derailments can be avoided. And police in Schenectady say the autopsy results on a body that was pulled from the Mohawk River this week will not be available until Monday afternoon at the earliest. Those remains were discovered by a fisherman on Wednesday near Riverside Park in Schenectady. Police still have not confirmed if the body is that of Samantha Humphrey, a teenage girl who has been missing since late November. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for cloudy skies, continued snow showers through noon today, then mostly cloudy. Temps falling through the day. We've already hit the high for today, 21, 22 degrees. By tonight, we'll be at 4 degrees with a wind chill at 5 below. Mostly cloudy tonight, not expecting any new snow showers for your Saturday, though we do have a chance of snow, mainly in the afternoon, a high of 24. Warming up a bit on Sunday, chance of snow showers, mixing with some rain as well, and a high of 38. Right now, mostly cloudy, some light snow, 21 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:06. All right, in sports, a huge weekend for the Utica Pioneers. We'll be speaking with head coach Gary Heenan of the men's team in just one moment, so we'll get to that in a second. Elsewhere, the Giants adding a new coach to their staff. Former Panthers assistant Jeff Nixon will join the G-men as a running backs coach. The 48-year-old had also been considered for the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator position. Aaron Rodgers is out of the dark. Still in a Packers uniform, but out of his darkness retreat. The Green Bay quarterback spent several days and nights at the Sky Cave Retreats in southern Oregon. The owner of the facility confirms that Rodgers left yesterday. Rodgers told the Pat McAfee Show recently that he planned on spending 4 days and 4 nights in darkness and isolation, hoping to have a better sense of where he is at this point in his life. The Washington Commanders could have a new high-profile owner closing in on purchasing the franchise. The Washington Post says Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has hired an investment firm to examine the possibility of a bid to purchase the Commanders. He hired the firm Allen & Company, the same company that helped navigate the recent sales of both the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. The Rams won't be bringing Bobby Wagner back for another season. ESPN says the linebacker and L.A. have mutually agreed to part ways. Wagner's release will save the Rams $5 million in salary cap space. The Broncos bringing back a former head coach for a role on Sean Payton's new staff. Denver is hiring Vance Joseph as the team's new defensive coordinator. He returns to the Broncos after serving as head coach from 2017 to 2018. The 50-year-old had spent the past 4 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals as their defensive coordinator. Some hockey action. The Utica Comets.
Big hockey weekend.
Utica Comets will play tonight. They're on the road against Cleveland, of course, but all eyes here on the playoff action that is going on at the Adirondack Bank Center and next door at the Nexus Center as well. Joining us now, head coach of the Utica Pioneers, Gary Heenan.
Hello, Gary Heenan. Good morning.
Hello, guys.
Listen, here we go. Here we go. Big game tomorrow night. Big. Actually, the women start at 3 o'clock, and then you guys are playing at 7 p.m., both against Manhattanville. How tough is it to beat a team 3 times in a row? Well, you just did it, by the way.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't really creep into mind. I think that's something that's been in the past that guys like yourself love to talk about. But
you're right.
It's not a big deal. We haven't played them in about 5-6 weeks, and it's playoff time. We're at home where we want to be, and I think this team has a lot of good hockey ahead of them. I don't think we've peaked. We've been battling some demons. We know we haven't won that big one at home in some time, so anxious to get through this league playoffs, and then we know we're in the NCAA tournament. We'd love to be able to host it right here in Utica.
Boy, that would be enormous. So let's talk about Manhattanville. That last game you guys played, I think it was final was 5-4, so it was
5-2 against Manhattanville.
Against Manhattanville, 5-4. And so this is a competitive team, but you guys seem to be growing every game going forward.
Yeah, it's a tough league, and in terms of we finished the league schedule playing the bottom teams, which isn't ideal. We kind of had our way with the last 3 weekends. But nobody's punched us back in the mouth, and we're ready to be punched. We're ready to get pushed back and play a better level of competition. We need that going forward for preparing for the NCAA tournament. So Manhattan's a big, strong team. You guys might remember we had beat them something like 18 in a row, and they came in and upset us in the championship game in like 2018-19.
Yeah, I was there.
So there's some history with this team for sure, and there's a bit of rivalry there. Certainly our fans, it's one of these teams that they don't like. We've played them forever. It's a familiar name. It's a familiar opponent. And they're pretty good. We narrowly beat them down there. They've won 3 in a row. I think their record's like 14-9-2. So this should be a good hockey game, and I think we're just ready to play a better pace of game against a better level of competition.
You've scored, I think it's 31 goals in the last 5 games. And yes, you're playing kind of the bottom of the conference, but this team has been all about offense in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think somebody had mentioned we're first in the country in scoring, and that surprises me. I think we've left a lot of goals on the table. We're getting the ugly goals, which we love, the dirty goals in the hard area. We're not scoring the pretty ones, which we've done the last few years. So we're saving those. We're missing our breakaways and 2-on-1s. But, I think our team has a little bit of level of frustration in terms of the goals aren't going in. We don't have the individual guys that are going to be All-Americans like we had last year. There's a little chip on their shoulder, which I like. I think we all know we've left a little on the table the last couple of years in terms of the big picture. So all our eyes are on, the pressure's on in terms of finishing this. Our fans are anxious about it. Certainly I am. We'd love to deliver here going down the stretch for the city and the school.
By the way, in the last 7 games, it's 42 goals. Because I forgot about the 11-1 win over King's College. Manaski.
No, I just wanted to say we speak to the coach periodically, and you could tell it's playoff time. He goes from pleasant mode to ass-kicking mode very quickly.
Yeah.
And
you got it.
serious business. Serious business. So good luck, Coach. We're definitely behind you, and we'll be there this weekend.
I want to know, just for people looking to come tomorrow night, but is there a charge for the conference game for the women to get into the Nexus Center?
You had to stump me, didn't you, Bill?
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll stay with...
I actually don't have the answer to that. I know our prices have held pretty good, and we had a great crowd Wednesday night with a snowstorm, and a team that we had just beat 7-1, 7-1, and we needed the crowd. We were a little flat, kind of taking it for granted, and kind of got into it in the second period. And we heard the crowd, and to have a couple thousand people there on a Wednesday night, and no comps. So everybody's paying right now, and the corporate sponsorships, their tickets are all no good, so. You got to get down to the box office, buy your seat. We're expecting a huge crowd Saturday night is the only game in town.
So tickets are available. Go to the box office or go online, however you get your tickets. And we want to fill the Adirondack Bank Center for Saturday night. Big, big deal. Now, you win. You play at home next Saturday. I'm assuming a 7 o'clock game next Saturday night.
Correct. It just goes kind of Saturdays from here. And, currently number 1 in the nation, so we'd like to hold that going into the NCAA selections, and that would only mean more playoff hockey right here. And you just keep winning, it just keeps staying here. So we could have, 6 weekends here of hockey for our hockey club in this hometown, and we'd love to do that.
And the big goal is to win it all, and the Frozen Four to be played right here in Utica. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow night, Gary, and good luck. Let's knock them out.
Awesome. Talk to you next week, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Coach.
Is knock them out, does that work in hockey? Knock them out. Of course it does. That's where all the fighting is happening, Davey. What the heck?
Check him into the boards.
Check him into the boards. I don't know. That's too long. Knock them out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, this weekend is the, if you're following in sports, high school basketball playoffs underway, and high school wrestling. The state tournament is this weekend. And a lot of local kids will be wrestling in that tournament in Albany this weekend. Pretty cool. Quick break. We'll come right back. It's 8:14 in studio. I want to talk more. I don't want to consume the whole thing about, your talk about the insemination and being a sperm donor. But I'm curious, and other people have questions. So would you mind if I throw a few more at you?
Please.
Okay.
I love talking about sperm. It is my favorite thing. That's what I do on TikTok all day is I talk about sperm.
She's all over, both of them, all over TikTok. Hold on tight. We're coming right back. 8:15 at WIBX.
Sure, you can buy blank uniforms, but what if there was a one-stop shop option that could do it all? Order your uniform, tailor it to fit you, sew on patches, embroider your name, and screen print your tees. A&P Master Images can do that and more. Order one piece for yourself or set up an online store for your whole department to order online. Come and pick it up, have it shipped to your doorstep, or even ask for free delivery to your departments in our local area. A&P Master Images is a New York State certified woman-owned business and can help you or your department fulfill grant requirements too. And if all of this wasn't enough, if you run out of department patches, we can make those too. Don't forget about your fleet of vehicles either. A&P Master Images produces and installs vinyl graphics. Find brands like 511, Proper, Game, Rothco, Redcap, Cherokee, and others. Selling blank apparel is easy. Becoming a one-stop shop to handle all your needs is what A&P Master Images does to make it easy for you, our customer. Visit masteryourimage.com or stop into our showroom at 205 Water Street behind the Utica Odd.
Do you ever get the feeling that the world is being held together with duct tape? Every day we're thrown some new meaningless drama in the fake news to distract us from the reality we're all about to face. Between the government trying to print their way out of debt, military conflicts, the disintegration of our most trusted institutions, and a looming food shortage, preparedness is no longer a choice. It's a necessity. You can trust My Patriot Supply. Our emergency food kits come packed with tasty meals, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one kit for each person in your family. Self-reliance is the only alternative to government food lines. Time is running out. Become ungovernable. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and save on dozens of different emergency food kits while you can. These kits are in stock, ship fast, and arrive in unmarked boxes for your privacy. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com before the next crisis strikes. MyPatriotSupply.com.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram and has struggled with eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text TEEN to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower suggest Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by Instagram addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text TEEN to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text TEEN to 323232 or call 800-768-4026 and speak with an attorney.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice attorney Donald A. Migliore is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Friday morning, going into a big, busy weekend. It's 8:19 at Fat Cats Comedy Club this weekend. Dave Colombo, Laura High. Who is the feature act this weekend? Do you know? Or you're looking that up?
Yes. No, I just want to make sure that I pronounce his name correctly. He is I was highly recommended him by another wonderful comic. I saw his clips and I was like, oh my God, he's Kenneth McLaurin, fabulous comedian from Ithaca. Loved his stuff, and so excited to have him on.
Yeah, love that. Okay, let's. I have somebody saying that have you ever been checked? HIPAA alert here. Have you ever been checked? You probably should find out from the sperm donor, as the Jewish sect has a probability of Crohn's disease. Did you know that?
Yeah, so there are, so different ethnicities come with, I would say, different, genetic abnormalities,
right,
and Ashkenazi is one of those. And I've started getting double checked for things because I recently had to go to an endocrinologist because I was getting sick, and I found out that I had a tumor. It was benign on my pituitary gland, which is essentially on the base of my brain. It's right behind your eyes, and the pituitary gland affects both the adrenals and your thyroid. So that screws up everything.
Yes.
So I had to go on medication, very, very intense, like cancer-fighting medication for about a year and a half. And literally as of yesterday, I'm officially tumor-free.
Wow,
Thank
awesome.
That's awesome.
And
Congratulations.
So, thank you. And I'm going through a variety of tests. But for everybody to understand, like, I don't have a single scrap of medical history from my donor from the clinic. Like, we don't even have a sentence. Like, we don't have a donor number. We have nothing. And
what would be wrong with having a law that would require a medical history? You don't have to know the name. You don't have to know, but probably it would be nice to know.
Well, so
something about because you're lost.
I am, and my donor is a doctor, so he understands the importance of medical history. I have found him. I've contacted him. I've also found 4 other siblings, and there's medical problems. Like, we all have and I'm the one who actually seems to have the least issues. Two of my sisters have like massive autoimmune disorders and everything, and it's like, dude, we'd really like a medical history.
Yeah.
Refuses any kind of contact. I even messaged him in an email saying, I will sign any form of an NDA. I will never go after, like, in any form. We just want our medical history. And the dude was donating for 6 years.
Wow.
We've been warned we might have over 50 siblings. So at some point, he could be inundated with siblings. And I'm like, you're lucky, asshole. Am I allowed to swear? Oh, my God. Am I allowed to swear?
No. I just.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I'm like, dude, like, it's a matter of time before somebody outs you. Like, it is. I'm like, you're lucky. I'm like, we have no reason to keep.
So you know, when you say you found him, you know who he is.
I know exactly who he is, yes.
Wow.
I'm like, we're all being kind enough to respect your privacy.
In a world of social media where, it could happen very easily.
I have over 500,000 followers. Do you know how easy it would be? I'm like, I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. I don't feel right about doing that. But it's like, dude, all I want is medical history. Like, that's it.
And to answer your question, kind of the best pushback that we get is that it's just, well, people aren't used to that. Well, that's just not the norm. I'm used to my anonymity, and it's people being asked. Like, I didn't know anything about the donor industry before.
I'm learning it all right now.
Right, and it could. I very easily at 19, 20, 21 could have like walked into a place, and to have somebody come up and say like, hey, you are now responsible for something is scary. Sure, it's terrifying to have to like reevaluate how the choices that you made.
But just to throw out a little bit more like kind of like statistics and everything. So like typically like a donor is young. Like right now, if you look up, and I ask everybody to do this, look up every single cryobank in the United States. They are all positioned right next to colleges and universities. Every cryobank, because literally cryobanks make pop-up tents on colleges and university campuses. They specifically want, they are allowed to come into lecture halls. And so
And they're paying what? What do they pay?
Around like $1,400 a month for like sperm donation and about $10,000 for egg donation.
Wow.
So it's a lot of money, and how they advertise it is like pay for your spring break off of sperm donation. Like, it's so unethical.
That is unbelievable.
Buy an amazing handbag.
I'm like, make money off of literally. They're all the clinics and cryobanks advertise on TikTok because they know the audience is young, and they literally go, you can buy all these handbags. That is how they do it. And you have to remember, when you were 18, 19 years old, did you know your family medical history?
Right.
No. You didn't know. You didn't know anything.
You didn't think to ask. You would, unless you had a problem.
Right. I feel great. What's the problem?
And so all of these kids are coming in, and because legally, clinics don't have to verify a medical history that a donor hands in. So literally, the donor can write anything they want. They can leave out, and even if they do know that there is something, they can leave it out. They can completely falsify, which donors have been caught doing, is falsifying records. And that's why I say even today, the medical history that you get can be absolute garbage.
Yeah.
And you don't have an updated medical history. So like, we were all 18, 19. We remember like how healthy we were. Now, just 10 years in the future.
Completely changes
now,
everything.
what? Your grandparents have Alzheimer's. Your dad has had a heart attack. Your mom's had breast cancer. Your elbow's doing that weird thing that you cannot explain. I'm 34 and had a tumor. It's
right.
Stuff happens. And there's no way to get in contact with those donor-conceived people. Like, I know an egg donor who had a heart attack when she was in her 30s. She has a pacemaker now. She tried desperately to get in contact with the clinic, being like, you have to tell these kids. They have to get EKGs. They have to get echoes right now. And the clinic was like, oh, yeah, we'll totally do that. They never did.
Of course they
Literally life-saving information.
So it's both ways. Not only can the child not locate the parent, but the parent is not allowed to locate the child.
Yes, it's completely anonymous, which makes it...
Which you can see why. However, on the other hand, you can see why this information needs to be out there.
Well, to put another twist, most of our counterpoints and allies have banned anonymity for this very purpose. Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, UK, Germany, New Zealand, and Australia all banned anonymity because they realized how dangerous it literally is for the donor-conceived children. They are like, we have to be able to have some kind of contact, at least for medical updates. So all of those countries have banned anonymity because of this.
Can I ask you, do they do a, when someone comes in, and so they go to the college campus, and they're looking for guys to do a sperm donor, to be sperm donors. And $1,400 a month, a college kid would be...
That's huge. Oh, my God. You're rolling in it.
Yeah, this is crazy. So do they look at somebody and be like, too short? No, you're a little ugly. I'm not going to... We don't want you.
They do care. It seems like they do care about aesthetics more. Like, we hear more about, like, guys getting turned away because of their height. But a guy could come in with, like, massive genetic illnesses, and they're like, but you're cute.
Yeah.
That we do hear happening, that it is very aesthetic, and it definitely is quite... Like, there is no kind of, like, anti-discrimination laws to protect donors, so it's literally just people in a back room at a clinic deciding who and who isn't allowed to procreate. And that is definitely, that goes into a very bad territory.
Dangerous world, yep.
That's a dangerous world. That's little... tiny mustache man kind of territory where we're just like, so there needs to be some anti-discrimination laws around that to protect us.
And this world is completely unregulated.
Oh, it is incredibly unregulated. It is the Wild West. Again, bare minimum, federally, a doctor can still switch out the chosen sperm for his own. That's the baseline of where we're starting. So if that is true, what else is true?
Yeah. Laura High, Dave Colombo. Obviously, you turn all this into comedy. And
yes, amazing.
We're just curious
so
people.
Much more to the story, so come to the show.
I'm so excited about you guys both being on stage. Head to the green room. We're going to bring you guys back in a second. And go to Fat Cats Comedy Club for details. FatCatsComedyClub.com is the website. Thank you. Wild stuff, right?
When they come back, I got to ask, because with the technology that exists today, I'm just surprised they can't pull a profile or make a profile based on a sample. But we'll get into that.
Remember the story we had? The story we had about the parents who the kid was too short, and they gave him lifts so he could get on the carnival ride.
Yes,
I'm the guy going into the sperm donor location, putting lifts on. Like, I'm tall enough. Give me the $1,400. Let's go. Okay, so. What we have is going to be a hard left or right turn, I would say. Set it up.
Yeah, so earlier this week we told you, we had current Councilwoman Katie Aiello on the air to talk about how she did not get the endorsement from the Democrat Party for her
pointed
re-election.
A lot of fingers. She made a lot of accusations.
Yes, and there was talk about envelope and money in an envelope, I should say, a building on Bleecker Street, and then how somebody else got the endorsement and that this person is the fiance of the person who left her some money. And what was the intent of the money, et cetera. I've had a couple of conversations with Russell Pelley, and he was going to come on earlier this week, was busy, but he's agreed to join us here this morning by phone, and he is on the line right now. Good morning, Russ.
Russ Pelley, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
So what happened? Let's start with the day that you at some point were asking her for assistance when it comes to the ARPA funding for a building that you have. And then,
right.
Okay, just give us a little background from your side of the story.
Sure, no problem. Basically, working around the corner from her coffee shop, I was on a job site, and went there for coffee a few times. Liked it. It was kind of cool. I liked the vibe and everything. A few days later, I was in a dilemma showing a building that I have on Bleecker Street to the Mohawk Valley Latino Association. They loved it. It needed some work, though, due to COVID. Not paying tenants, destroyed it up and down after I invested a lot of money into it. They had zero funds And I said, all right, let's see what could be done. I know there's grants out there. There has to be something. Lo and behold, next day, this ARPA funding's announced, $200,000 per council to be awarded for public assistance. I was so excited. I told them I would ask. They said, all right, great. Keep us up to date. And the way Katie makes it sound is really sad and disheartening. She makes it sound as though I walked in with an envelope filled with cash and this and that. I've been going there. I liked it. Yes, I went in there and asked for a form to fill out so that I could help the Mohawk Valley Latino Association. Didn't demand any money, didn't go in there with a pinky ring and a bag of money like she's assuming and claiming. Went in there with my work clothes and asked for the form that I'm entitled to do and paid money. And I don't even think there was an envelope. I think it was a pink sheet or a purple sheet. I wrote my information down because she wasn't there at the time. She may have been upstairs and then came down. So I finished my coffee, told her, pay the money forward like I did in the note. My number was there, and asked for assistance where I could get that form so I could fill it out and see if I applied, if it would be given to me. Nothing wrong, nothing at all.
Let me. Can I?
Yesterday alone. Oh, sure.
Can I just ask you a question? There was, because she describes it that there was money in an envelope, but let's say it was a pink piece of paper that she said, "Oh, I thought this was pay it forward," and you said, "No, that money's for you."
No, it clearly says on the paper that I wrote, it's to pay it forward, clearly. And that's where her exaggeration and her smoke and mirrors and her TikTok all come into play for her. If she would just stick to the issues, she wouldn't be in this situation right now. She keeps asking, why did the council members do this? Why? She's going everywhere asking. The answers are right in front of her face. It's her own behavior. It's the way she's been acting. It's terrible, man. No one went in there with any ill will. We went in there. I asked for assistance. I didn't get the assistance. So most naturally, I'm wondering what's going on. And I asked, where is this money going? I start to ask questions. When you ask Miss Aiello questions, she does not like it. She starts with her bullying. She will block you, delete you, and that is the pattern that she has shown to her constituents since day one. If you don't agree with her, watch out, because you will be the target of some major bullying, just like I was.
Jeff, I'll let you in. I just wanted just a little background. This is Russell Pelley, and earlier in the week there was the accusation, which call it innuendo. It was an accusation that a bribe was made, and then after it wasn't taken, a year later, this all occurred this time last year. Then a year later, Mr. Pelley's girlfriend decides, you know what, I'm running for her position. And lo and behold, the Democratic committee endorsed her for the position and not the incumbent. So, which led, even though she might not have said, did the executive committee or did the Democratic committee take a bribe, she did say, what happened? Was there money exchanged there? What happened? Almost as a question, but that's still through innuendo and accusation. So I just want to lay all that out there. And Manaski, you have a question.
So, Russ, and I have to ask this, and I know you've gone through this, and I'm sure it's been brought up before. You said if you don't agree with Mrs. Aiello, you better watch out. We've had some listeners point out and come forward and say, well, if you don't agree with Russ Pelley, you better watch out. I think you know what I'm
my answer to that is, I'm not in public office, and if you don't agree with me, you simply just go your way. I'm not always going to be right. That's for sure. I've learned that. I will listen to the other side, and I'm always up for a healthy debate. But the only way I would ever do something bad to someone is if they do something bad to me first. I'm a reactionist, and I'm learning that I'm not even right half the time when I do that. I went in there with the intentions of helping the community with a nonprofit that did not have the funds. Did not ask for anything, did not demand that she give me anything. Just yesterday alone, I went to Utica Coffee. A very successful businessman in Utica who runs a car dealership paid for everyone's coffees. You know what I thought? That's fantastic. I love it. It made my day. I was so happy. And that's no different than what I did that day. She could have returned it. I was sitting there for a good hour. You can look at the cameras, maybe a half hour. She could have texted me. The number was on the card. She could have did whatever she wanted. She could have reported it. If she really, really, really thought it was a bride, she should have reported it. But what did she do? She held on to it thinking, great, that was nice. And waited. A month later, she caught wind that I wasn't happy with her. And she decided this is an opportunity. Let's use this against him because she can't throw mud or dirt against her opponent. So what does she do? She drags me into it and throws it at me. When she could be having healthy dialogue about the issues that us constituents are really concerned about.
So are you saying that what the way she describes it never happened? You never said to her, this money is for you, it's not pay it forward. And ultimately, are you saying that she's lying?
100% she's lying. Just like she did on stand in front of a judge under oath when she claimed she lived at 412 Lafayette Street when the building was abandoned. Until she got questioned, she had to admit that she only spent one night there with propane heaters and generators. It's ridiculous. The building's demolished now.
That is the residency issue, and I think that the decision. So she ultimately won on appeal, but the reason, if I'm correct, that she won on appeal is because the law does not require that you live in a district or in a city when you run, but if elected, you must follow their rules unless there's pre-existing rules that the city has, which I don't believe Utica has. So
I can't speak on the law of that part. However, I could say that she definitely lied because on that voter form, it states, where do you live? She put 412 Lafayette Street. It doesn't say where do you intend to live. That's the big difference.
Okay.
That shows her deceit and her smoke and mirrors.
All right, one more question I want to ask. You made a couple of allegations about who her mother is and funding that was for a building. Also, the building across the street with the big mural on it. We asked her on the air. She insists that is not her mother and she is not related. Is there another side to that story, or were maybe you misinformed on that?
Well, unless I remember your interview wrong, I thought she said she doesn't know if she's related. And my reply would be, how do you not know if you're not related to your landlord? Same last name. I mean, is it the father of her children's mother? Is it the father of her children's stepmother? I don't know. If Katie doesn't know, I surely don't know. But these are questions that if you're in public office, you damn well better be ready to answer because your constituents don't like smoke and mirrors.
So I have somebody asking a question. Before I get to that, are you saying that when we asked, "Are you related?" and now because is she divorced? I'm not sure. I
believe she is divorced, but the allegation was that it is her mother.
I understand, but there's also that there's a relationship. Is her maiden name? Her maiden name is not Martin. It's Aiello, right? Yeah.
So
it would have been her.
To be Aiello.
Yeah.
I believe that she lives in Herkimer. From the knowledge that we've gathered. And
well, she said she's not from Herkimer.
She lives in Utica. Her children's husband lives in Utica. They have separation. They have some sort of joint custody, but yet the children go to school in Herkimer. We want to know this. We're the voters. She's our elected official. Don't dodge the question. Just tell us. Do you live here or don't you?
Well, if they're separated, the kids could very well be going to school there because of that's where the father lives.
Sure.
But at the same time, I think the Martin name would have been the name of the husband or former husband. So I guess what I'm saying is, and we'll talk to Katie next week, did I ask a question and I got an answer that was specifically the answer based on technicalities? So,
and I believe you did.
Versus the answer being, I'm not related, but it was my husband's relation. Now, I'll ask that specific question next week, but that would be very, very interesting. Somebody asking here, Katie said that you have a criminal record. Is that true? If so, what happened?
Yeah, at first I do, and I'm not sure how that even plays into part right now. If you're going to throw people's past into things, like I said before, I grew up in a very blue-collar, tough Italian neighborhood. All right, we don't back down. If someone hits you, we were taught hit back and hit back harder. Is it the right way, Bill, Jeff? No, absolutely not. It's an adjustment I had to make to learn that sometimes I'm not right. but by no means do I go out there and hurt people or do anything bad. I've been in my share of street fights, and I'm older now, and I'm learning to handle myself differently. And that's why I'm going through this process, through politics and helping people. Then I would welcome anyone who has something to say about it to compare what I do for the community versus what they do. And if we're going to bring people's past up, why does Katie not have full custody of her children?
Well,
I know the answer.
That is.
But I know the answer. So I don't want to bring dirt into this. I want to try to get meaningful dialogue to help the city move forward, which she should have did in the first place, instead of going on TikTok and trying to be some influencer to get all these freaks from Portland, Oregon to come after me, because I did nothing wrong to her.
Briefly address that. What do you mean?
Portland's a very liberal city. Portland, Oregon is a very liberal city.
Well, she went on TikTok. She made all these claims, false claims. She just stopped shy of calling it a bribe. Made this huge fascination story about backdoor politics in Utica, et cetera, et cetera. Next 24 hours, I'm getting calls, texts, inboxes from people all over the country. They don't vote. They don't live here. Address the issues here in Utica, Katie. Address those.
Right.
Address the homelessness, the Bowers development, the money, the $2 million spent that's not in her district. I came on the air to answer one question of hers. She wanted to know what happened at that meeting. I can answer those questions.
Okay. What happened at that meeting?
She's not liked. Plain and simple. She's not trusted. She's not liked. She just went on TikTok and threw 15 people under the bus, claiming that there's some conspiracy and some paid-off scheme that involved her not being endorsed. Could not be further from the truth. The executive committee recommended her endorsement. They were for her. So when it came time to vote on it, one chair member said yes. It was up to Katie at that point to say yes. She didn't. If you're not going to fight for yourself, how do you expect people behind you to stand up and fight for you?
That is true.
So
she could have seconded that, and
she didn't.
And she did not. Yeah.
One more, Russ.
Katie didn't want to vote for Katie. I mean, she didn't believe in herself. So how do you expect other people to jump to your defense?
Yeah. Russ, one more. What's the status of that building right now? Did the Latino Association move in? The Bosnian Association? What's going on?
1 week after I asked about the funding, I filled out a form. I was told to fill a form out and give it to her. There wasn't a form to actually fill out. So I filled out my intent and sent it in. About a week and a half later, the Latino community had said they're not interested anymore. Now, did I go on social media and claim that she talked them out of it? Of course not, because that's probably not what happened. Sometimes people change their minds. It's not a big deal. So what happened is I reached out to some small business owners themselves, and we're in the process of getting their restaurant in there because I was adamant about not putting a vape shop or a barber shop in there.
Okay.
I was losing a ton of money, but I did not want either of those in that community. So I didn't care. I just wanted something meaningful in there.
Yep. Okay.
And lo and behold, I get a citation for codes just recently, too. Now, do I cry about it and say Katie was behind it? No. What do? I take the violation and I fix the issue. And that's it. You move forward.
Russ, I appreciate you coming forward. And it is, to me, extremely important that we hear both sides of every story, and certainly in this case, both sides of the story. We will hear from Katie. I believe she's going to be on next week. But hopefully we can reach back out to you if there are any other questions. But, Russ, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Right.
Have a great day.
Have a great weekend. Thanks. Quick break. We'll come back and wrap it up here. A lot to squeeze in. 8:44 at WIBX.
You have cancer. 3 words you wish you could unhear. But just because a cancer diagnosis may be a shock to your system doesn't mean cancer surgery has to be. Now, there's Edge Radiosurgery. It breaks down tumors in less than an hour per treatment. No knife, no hospital stay. Faster treatments, lower risk. Edge Radiosurgery. Now at AMP of New York. Learn more at ampofny.com/edge. You may experience side effects which may be severe. Ask your doctor of Edge Radiosurgery and Associated Medical Professionals of New York is correct for you.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, So we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is a primary care physician, a clinic with several doctors under one roof, and they're accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor, or maybe you're having issues with sleep, fatigue, pain, ADHD, or other health issues that you're unable to cure, the osteopathic approach might be the answer. Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zelensky, and others now taking on new patients. If you're looking for acupuncture, it's offered at the Falcon Clinic. Is someone in your family considering medical marijuana? They feel it might be an option for pain without the addictive side effects of opioids. Call today. Visit them online, thefalconclinic.com, 315-507-4751. 315-507-4751. Online, falconclinic.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay, Herkimer College has a brand new program. It is an esports program. And Josh Lanza and Steve Boucher in studio right now. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
guys.
Good morning.
Great to see you.
This is, I've never really understood because my son's door is closed. But I can hear the noises coming from out of there, and it's esports. This is big today.
It's really big. Josh, you want to jump in first?
I'll start with just to get everybody on the same page of what esports is, right? This is the question I always get asked first. So first of all, esports is competitive gaming, right? We're playing competitively against other people from across the country, from around the world. And all video games are not esports, though. Even though all esports are video games, not all video games are esports, right? Your son could be in his room, maybe playing something against the...
Maybe Madden. We'll throw Madden out there.
Madden could be an esport if you're playing against, other people from around the country.
Yeah.
We do have Madden as one of our competitive esports at the collegiate level, along with FIFA, NBA 2K, to name a couple other sports games. I hope NHL gets on there eventually. I'm a hockey fan, so I'd love to see that. It's constantly growing. But if you're playing, a role-playing game by yourself or something, against the computer, that's not an esport. That's just you playing video games.
What about Mario Racer?
Mario Kart? Yes.
Yeah, Mario
in
Kart.
fact, Herkimer College has a Mario Kart team. They play tonight, in fact. So.
Well, it's going to be big because there's a movie coming out.
I remember my parents saying, we're wasting your time on this. You can't make money someday playing video games. This can't be a career for you. And I scolded my brother and told him the same thing. Not only does he make money playing games online, letting other people watch him, but what is the degree?
That is the weirdest thing.
I know.
Well,
I don't get it. Do you
Sure.
teach people, X is pass, B is dive? What is the learning?
It's a little different than that. So what Herkimer College has designed is an esports sports management program. So it's a business degree surrounding this industry. So just
hosting events, putting on.
So like everybody that goes to radio and broadcasting in school doesn't end up being on the air. There's a whole industry built around Davey and
there's an entire industry out there making more money. Go ahead, say it. It's
exactly,
true.
exactly. Yes. So just about so what ended up happening is somewhere along the way, games went from just people playing games to people competing. As soon as you had people start to compete, it's become an industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry with hundreds of millions of viewers. So with that, like in the other industry, you need sports managers, you need event managers, you need salespeople, you need coaches, you need furniture design for that industry, everything around it. So Herkimer recognized the opportunity to be able to give the skills to our students that want to pursue this. Now the great thing is, if you decide not to go into esports, you get the baseline of all the other business courses.
Right.
You're taking the marketing, the management, the business law, the math, the English. Everything you would need in a normal business degree comes in this degree, but it also has embedded in it the esports program. So that way, if somebody wants to specifically go into that industry, they'll be ready for it.
And my guess is this is not an industry that's going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
No, we
going away anytime soon.
It's not going away. No,
Yeah,
it's very much getting bigger. Like I said, on the esports team side of things, they're constantly adding more competitive games to their roster.
Yeah.
We can constantly recruit more students because a student who might play Madden per se might not play Mario Kart, but if we don't have both, we can't get the Mario Kart student recruited, right? So those are some things that we look into. And just to be clear, you don't have to be on the esports team to be in the esports management major, right? So there's some people that just are enthusiastic about watching esports, not necessarily holding that controller and playing, but they want to be involved in the industry somewhere.
How many of these competitors that are on the team are people who never played sports in school, physical sports?
Some. However, I also want to tell you, and I know there's this.
You look like you played some sports.
Well, I did a little bit, but that's one thing, right? I was a cross country runner and a track runner all through high school and college. So there's some people who do play those traditional sports as well. A number of our FIFA players played soccer competitively for our team. They play Rocket League. Our NBA 2K players are on the basketball team, right? So we play in both the spring and the fall semester, right? So when the traditional sports team has an off season, they can play for us because we don't have an off season. With that being said, the beauty of esports is there is no physical requirement, right?
And think about you're looking at somebody and you're saying that kid's not an athlete. Well, it turns out that kid could be an esports athlete. That's kind of where I'm going. It gives opportunity to kids that may never have had any opportunity in high school.
Exactly, and that's what we see a lot of that too. So when I say some, it's like some kids that might be a little socially awkward or might not have the physique or the skills to play a traditional sport. We have a home for them here. And we've made a home for them here, and now they're involved in our campus community. That's going to be our retention, right? And that makes them have an affinity for Herkimer County Community College.
And doesn't every kid want to say, "Yeah, I'm going to college. I'm going for esports"?
Every kid I would have loved to.
What's the response you guys have gotten? How many other colleges have done this, and what's the response been for Herkimer specifically?
So there's a couple other four-year colleges, couple in New York State that offer this, but no other two-year school offers this. So we are the first. So we're going to be, and folks that go through our program can either head off into industry. Now, most of the jobs that they get in that industry are on the East Coast and West Coast, just like other industries. However, if you want to go off to 4-year, you want to go to Canton, you can go on off to Canton. So
I find this to be because let's face it, schools, colleges have struggled in the last few years with enrollment. It's a problem. And you're seeing right now Utica College, Utica University, making a move, dropping programs that are not successful. I know some programs, much to the chagrin of people like us, losing radio television as it was a shocker, disappointing for us.
Absolutely.
But schools, I think, have to face the music here, right?
Right.
You got to look and say, what can we do? And it seems like you might very well have just grabbed lightning in a bottle here.
Yeah, we think so. I mean, we hope so. We've been looking at this. The school's been looking at it for a while, and we've been working on this. So I think it's something that, there's going to be an opportunity. Let's be honest. A lot of times students aren't going to college for all the reasons their parents want them to.
Right.
I remember when I went to Oneonta back in the 80s, I can't tell you I went there because I looked at their ratings and what
right.
I was, there was girls and beer, and that I got there, but then I ended up getting a great degree and a great education. What's great about our program too, anybody that comes to play for the esports program, it's like any other sports program. They have to keep their grades up. They have to go to class. They have to be able to stay with all those same rigors you would for any other sport.
Do you do special thumb exercises, digit exercises?
Something like that
before you get in there.
Yeah, you got to stretch
something
it out.
Like that. Yeah.
Crack those knuckles, everybody. Come on, we got to go.
But in all seriousness, we do have very targeted practices. We're working on certain skills, whatever your game of choice is. There's certain things. It's not just playing to have a good time or whatever.
Right.
playing with your friends. This is serious competition, and we're trying to win, right? I'm proud to say so far my teams are undefeated for this season. We've only had 2 weeks, but we're 2-0. We'll take it, right?
I'd love to get you guys back and do this again, talk more about it, how kids can get involved, and really, I'd love to follow some competitions at some point. Sure. This is very interesting.
Yeah. Where do you send parents or students right now to get more information on this?
They could contact the college directly, and we'll give them a tour. We'll talk to them, whatever they'd like. So just get a hold of the college, and we'll take care of the rest.
All right. You know, a couple of weekends ago, Colgate was playing. It wasn't on TV. I went out and bought a package to be able to watch the game. I mean, we may be talking about something like this being a high-demand sport down the road. There's a future here. Very interesting.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen. Josh and Steve, thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
It's
great to be here.
Bye-bye.
Let me switch to John Decker from Gray TV, Chief White House Correspondent with Gray TV. John was in Poland as President Biden was traveling that part of the world. John, good morning, and I believe you're back now, right?
I am. I got back yesterday. Good to be back on U.S. soil, but I was with the president for the 2 days that he was in Warsaw. I arrived in Warsaw the same time that President Biden was arriving in Ukraine. That was a surprise trip, but I think it was a good European trip overall for President Biden in terms of showing his solidarity with President Zelensky and the Ukraine people and making certain that the world knows, including President Putin, that there is no division within NATO.
Listen, a lot of criticism for President Biden over the last couple of years. Well-deserved. A lot of questions about Biden. This is a big move. I think that Republicans and Democrats, both looking at this, it was a huge surprise and very important for him to show up in a country that is facing such horrible war right now in Ukraine.
Yeah, and the trip itself to Ukraine took months of planning, obviously, because of the security measures that were needed. This was a trip to a war zone, which have happened before. Those types of trips have happened before to Iraq and Afghanistan. The difference being, of course, is that in those places, the U.S. had a significant military presence, bases. We controlled the airspace. Not the case with Ukraine. That's what made that trip so much more difficult, so much more dangerous. And I think it was a moment for President Biden. We'll see if it lasts, but it was a good moment for him in his presidency.
I one question. I read a story this morning that there is someone in the world of politics in Russia calling for the Russians to move into parts of Poland. That would most likely send us into World War III, wouldn't it?
Well, it really would. I don't think that's going to happen. If there's any type of move that Russian troops make outside of Ukraine, it's likely in Moldova. Moldova is not a member of NATO. Moldova is a former Soviet republic. And so it's that is, to me, the real concern. In fact, the leader of Moldova was in Warsaw, Poland, to meet with President Biden to hear his speech. They recognize the danger, the possibility of danger that could come upon them as well.
Yeah, wow. Okay, glad you're back on U.S. soil, John.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Thanks for having me on today. As always, good to be with you, and we'll talk next week for sure.
All right, thank you so much. John Decker, Chief White House Correspondent with Gray TV. We've had a very interesting morning. It got very busy towards the end, but Dave Colombo and Laura High are the headlining comedians this weekend at Fat Cats Comedy Club. Something unique. It's a two-person show, kind of like a Rowan and Martin type thing from way back in the 60s and early 70s. And that really kind of has been the model for you guys for your show, right?
Yeah, I mean, we do love, like, I would say more classic, older comedy. We were actually just saying, so we have a podcast room in our home, and we've decorated it with old comedy albums. So we've got like an old Danny Kaye album and stuff like that. And so we do have an affinity for the old stuff. That was what both Dave and I were raised on. So we wanted to sort of bring that back, but in a new modernized version of it.
Yeah, an affinity for the past with a modern twist, for the TikTok generation.
We are on the talk of the tick, so we're trying to blend in. That's what the kids are calling it these days. We try and blend in with the youngins. Every once in a while, though, they do call us geriatric. So that's
they do. Yeah.
which I'm just like, screw you. I'm 34. I'm not old.
I know.
We're in that fun
Not old.
middle world where like we do well on TikTok and then we just kind of explain it to the people who are our age and older. You know, it's like, I can help you. You know,
well, and isn't it today? Comedy's so much different for that generation.
Yes.
Even college campuses it's a foreign world now.
Yeah.
It seems like a foreign country you're going to.
Well, it's interesting now because what trends so much on TikTok in terms of stand-up is watching comedians deal with hecklers. So now that's what they think it is. So like so many people come into comedy clubs going like, oh, I can't wait to heckle and be on TikTok. And you're just like, no.
We didn't come to watch you complain.
I know there's college kids, the young Paul Buckleys out there of the world that just want to get out there and heckle from the seats, from the cheap seats.
It blows my mind because you'll just be like, oh, you know, dating is hard. And then you'll hear from the sea of 100 people, you're right. And it's just like, you were the only one who decided to vocalize. Everybody agreed that we're just feeling this energy and we're just nodding and enjoying the day. But you were the one who decided to vocalize.
You chose this moment to make your voice heard. Thank you so much. Okay.
It's almost like college kids were all trained at a Baptist church. I don't know.
Or they go to more protests than they go to comedy clubs. It's like, when do we want a date? When do we want it now?
All right. So it is tonight and tomorrow night. There's a show tonight, 2 shows tomorrow night. Check these guys out. It'll be an awesome show. Really a bonus because there's a feature act on top of it as well as our hosts and all of that. So it's a bit of a bonus this weekend.
Great night.
And all of the parents out there who you guys have been like trying to find something to do with your kids, show them us on TikTok. I have over 500,000 followers, and so you can seem like the cool parent.
That's right. Like we're going to see these guys.
And there is a younger demo out there, certainly that will be in the audience tonight. So give us your handles or whatever they call those things on TikTok. So maybe
you did great.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.
It was really good. I'm even impressed. I don't know what the hell you said, but it's impressive.
And to show my age, I usually have to check my phone and go, what is my handle? DVD Columbo on Instagram and at Dave Columbo on TikTok.
Okay, cool. Thank you, guys.
And I am at Laura High Five everywhere. So please come out. Yes, high five.
FatCatsComedyClub.com. And Davey, I'll do one more. A table for 6. Pick tonight or tomorrow night, whatever show they want. First caller through the lines, 315-736-0186. Can you handle it, Davey? It means you're going to stick around a little longer, a little overtime.
I need validation from audience members, so please come in because I can't create that on my own. Thank you so much. No.
You
better get to work, Dave.
You're going to mojo on those phone lines? All right, thank you. 315-736-0186. Guys, thank you. We'll see you tonight. Before I leave, WIBX Utica Rome, in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store, period. If you're looking for flooring, if it's flooring you're looking for, if you're adding flooring to your home or your business or what have you, the largest inventory is with Sal and all the people in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Everything. But in specifics here, I'll go specifically on the Pergo Extreme by Mohawk. There's a sale going on right now. This is an awesome flooring for your home. Deeper protection, deeper warranty. It's dent-proof, 100% waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. And right now, it's on sale at Sarah's Flooring Outlet. In fact, they have the 60-mile radius guarantee. 60 miles from their store, they guarantee they will beat or meet anybody's price out there. It's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, online in sarahsflooringoutlet.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Sure, you can buy blank uniforms, but what if there was a one-stop shop option that could do it all? Order your uniform, tailor it to fit you, sew on patches, embroider your name, and screen print your tees. A&P Master Images can do that and more. Order one piece for yourself or set up an online store for your whole department to order online. Come and pick it up, have it shipped to your doorstep, or even ask for free delivery to your departments in our local area. A&P Master Images is a New York State certified woman-owned business and can help you or your department fulfill grant grant requirements too. And if all of this wasn't enough, if you run out of department patches, we can make those too. Don't forget about your fleet of vehicles either. A&P Master Images produces and installs vinyl graphics. Find brands like 511, Proper, Game, Rothko, Redcap, Cherokee, and others. Selling blank apparel is easy. Becoming a one-stop shop to handle all your needs is what A&P Master Images does to make it easy for you, our customer. Visit masteryourimage.com or stop into our showroom at 205 Water Street behind the Utica Odd.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica-Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
Do you ever get the feeling that the world is being held together with duct tape? Every day we're thrown some new meaningless drama in the fake news to distract us from the reality we're all about to face. Between the government trying to print their way out of debt, military conflicts, the disintegration of our most trusted institutions, and a looming food shortage, preparedness is no longer a choice. It's a necessity. You can trust My Patriot Supply. Our emergency food kits come packed with tasty meals, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one kit for each person in your family. Self-reliance is the only alternative to government food lines. Time is running out. Become ungovernable. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and save on dozens of different emergency food kits while you can. These kits are in stock, ship fast, and arrive in unmarked boxes for your privacy. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com before the next crisis strikes. MyPatriotSupply.com.